All right, first and foremost, want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to the Most High God, Yahweh. Want to do so in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Christ and Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Come on. Salaki, all praise to the Most High. It's a little impromptu, man. We got Arctic temperatures here in Atlanta, Georgia, this Saturday, and people just don't know how to act here in ATLGA. So we are in the school. I know Debak had a class earlier through the Spirit of Most High. Debak taught a class, correct, on a replacement theology. All praise you, how about Shem Yahushua. So Debak had a powerful class earlier here in our headquarters in Atlanta. I'm getting ready to go back off into this interaction we had with the Jewish fellow there in Florida last month. It's we only got about halfway through on the reaction that we did. We did that reaction on Tuesday for Taco Tuesday. We're only about halfway through. So we're just only getting about halfway through. I'm taking this opportunity to get through the other half of it and react, commentate, things like that through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Sister Mary loves Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Water. Sister Perez. Well, I like that. Sister Perez. We're gonna call you Sister Perez. And we appreciate you, Chef. So yeah, we here at the headquarters and we going in through the spirit of the Most High. I'm gonna take another look at this here video and things of that nature. Right. Do remember, I don't want to get a couple plugs in. Do remember we are offering invitations to our upcoming Passover here in Atlanta, Georgia, going down March the 22nd to all subscribers of CZY Network, also all active prospects, and all people enrolled in Sicarii Varsity. Those invitations are extended to those people exclusively, of course, outside of Sicarii and the Sicarii family. So if you're interested, you want to come down, man, I say sign up on CZY.network. If you don't, or if you're not able to come down, but you want to watch along and keep the Passover at home, sign up for CZY.network. The pay-per-view for it will be available exclusively on CZY.network. Hold on, let me turn this on. Right. This one? One of these taller, one of them white. Mm-hmm. Right, so like it. So, yeah, man. So I want to just plug that with everybody, so everybody's well familiar. We got all kind of new stuff dropping on CZY, and Deacon just dropped a couple pieces on there. So definitely look out for that. I know it's freezing. I know it's just not Atlanta where it's freezing. I know it's freezing cold in many cities across the country. I know Memphis been freezing. St. Louis, what's the temperature in St. Louis, Tazalian? 9 degrees, man. Sicarii St. Louis in the building could call you. Man, what's going on in St. Louis? Are you freezing? You know, it's freezing out there. Right? And then all of a sudden it's going to warm up. You know what I'm saying? Below 30 today, over 60 next week is the projection here in Atlanta. That's just, hey, whatever. I'll take it. Fine. But yeah, we're going to get off into this interaction with the Jewish fellow. We'll get into this interaction, man. There's all kind of stuff going on in the earth. Well, we're going to get off into this. Okay. But we still acknowledge him. I don't worship him. I don't worship anything outside. I should know what I am.
So you understand.
So I actually heard, it's funny that we left off here because I actually heard that there's some individuals in the world who are upset about me saying that, right? Imagine being upset about somebody saying that they only keep the first commandment. Imagine that, right? Somebody's mad. Israelites, Hebrew Israelites are mad that I said I keep the first commandment, right? These are Israelites. I'm going to show y'all something, right? Let me pull up the Blue Letter Bible real quick. Let's just go to any verse here. Genesis 2 and 4. This how they be reading this, right? Genesis 2 and 4. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created in the day that Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai made the earth. But wait, if I look at the verse, right? If I look at the verse, do it say, is that word Bahashem Yahweh Shai? No, Yahweh Elohim, Yahweh power, Yahweh of the powers. I don't see in the original, right, Bahashem Yahweh Shai right there. Why is that being read there when it says the Lord? Right? Come on, this is crazy, right? These brothers are like bonitarianists, right? Damn near. Let's do that. Ism. Bonitarianism is a Christian theology of two persons, personas, or aspects in what substance, divinity, or God. Classically, bonitarianism is understood as a form of monotheism, that is, that God is absolutely one being, and yet with bonitarianism, there is a two-ness in God, which means one God family. It's like the Trinity, but take the Holy Spirit out, and it's just the Father and the Son. This is how those individuals act. I'm not even going to bother to name them because their relevance is just damn near not existent. But it's just crazy to me that somebody have a problem that they're following early Catholic beliefs, right? And we're just following the laws of God. It says very plainly here, if we go to Exodus 20, right? Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Is Yahweh Shai a God? Well, yes, he is. Right? So it's very simple, right? And I elaborate here on the video. It's only ever in reference to Hashem. It's never in the Jesus words, acknowledging acceptance, right? Neat. Then you have another word, latreia, right? Bow. Same thing as baruch, right? Or baruch, blessing, right? Or bowing, acknowledging acceptance, right? Neat. Then you have another word, latreia, right? So when we look in the writings, in the teachings, in the Jesus words, when he talks about the word latreia, right, which literally I'm on mute. Salakia. So there's a difference between these words, proskuneo and latreia. So if we go here to latreia, it says to serve for hire, to serve, to minister to, either to gods or men, and use like of slaves and free men. In the New Testament, so just to tell you, this is the intention of its use in the New Testament, which we're reading, to render religious service or homage to worship. Right? Very simple. To render religious service or homage to worship. Can anybody tell me out there, and brother Yamaro, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabbat the water. He said his Hebrew Israelite Bible arrived today. He's going to take learning Yahweh's word to new levels. To water chief priest Elazar for your work. Your dedication to the word has provided immense now. Okay, all praise to the Most High, man. Glad to be of service. Right? So, as we can see here, this is what it means. Now, here's my question. Can anybody tell me where Yahweh gave you any service instructions for him? Any religious rituals that you perform to him? Such a thing doesn't exist, right? So that means you couldn't even actually worship him if you wanted to. So, but they created ways to worship him in the Catholic Church, and they painted him white, and they lied to us all about him and things of that nature. But as far as the Bible is concerned, such a thing does not exist. So you can't truly latreia, which is the true word for worship in the New Testament, Yahweh. It's not even possible. Right? But you got brothers out there that are upset that we take the commandments of God seriously and we worship in the sense here of Latreia Strong's G3000, Yahweh alone, right? We are, let's get this here. Let's look up another term. Have we heard of monotheism? Right? Are you monotheistic? No. The Muslims always they pride themselves, monotheism. I seen a video Loon, right? Real quick, because people act like they don't remember Loon. Who remembers Loon? Loon, y'all know you remember Loon. You remember Loon. People act like they don't remember Loon. Right? He had one hit. All right. And then he was on I Need a Girl, of course. Right? And then he had his own one, right, with the little Caribbean sounding drums on it. I love that song, right? I got the album. Matter of fact, that was about 02, 03. I got the album. But I got sent a clip of Loon the other day. And, he's a Muslim now. And Loon was over here talking about monotheism, and I left Christianity because you're supposed to be monotheistic, but they believe in the Trinity, etc., whatever. But the whole thing is, who said anything about monotheism in the first place? If you're reading the Bible, you'll come to understand that monotheism isn't exactly what's being taught in the Bible, really at any time. So it's more monolatrism. So we're going to define that. It says monolatry is the belief in the existence of many gods, but with the consistent worship of only one deity. So we only worship one God. It don't have to mean that there aren't other powers that exist. We know it because the first thing it tells us in Genesis is what the powers did. We don't get introduced to our supreme being until the next chapter, right? But it's interesting because the word is monolatry, and that's this word here in the Greek for serve here when Yahweh says, Yahweh only shalt thou serve. If it was somebody else to serve, if he was to be served, he would have clarified that when he's dealing with the tempter right here. He doesn't. He makes it clear, Yahweh only do we serve or worship. This is the sense, to render religious service. Right? What's a religious service? Sacrifice and fast and keeping the feast days. All the things that we do because the Most High told us to do it. That's the religious service that we're rendering. That's how we worship the Most High, through keeping his commandments, right? So this is what our classification is. Monolatrism, right? Not monotheism, not polytheism. Monolatrism and henotheism, like it says, monolatry is distinguished from monotheism, which asserts the existence of only one God, and henotheism, a religious system in which the believer worships one God while accepting that others, for example, in different areas may worship different gods with equal validity. See that right there? With equal validity. That's important to understand, because what henotheism basically is saying is the Canaanites worship Baal, and Baal is their equivalent to Yahweh. Right? Yahweh says, I am the Alpha and Omega. What does that mean? That's a statement of incompatibility. It's not literal. Because is he the last anything? No. He created everything. How can he be the last? So it's a statement of incompatibility, meaning their supreme being over there might be Baal. He's not the equivalent of Yahweh, though. He's not the same thing as the Most High, right? Whoever they think the Most High is, our God is higher than that. right? This is nationalism. This is racism. This is superiority. This is all of those ideas rolled into one, because we're saying that our God, there's no God that's on the level of our God. See, a heathen will come into Israel and say, "Hey, man, Yahweh, that's a powerful God, man." But Baal, they're like the same. They're like kind of the same, Hell nah. That's our outlook on it, right? So this is important. So this is what that word is. So when I'm talking to this Jewish gentleman, and I'm making it clear, because of course he's not accustomed to dealing with our perspective whatsoever. What he's accustomed to, of course, is engaging Christians. So a Christian is going to tell you that the Trinity is real, that Jesus is God, etc. So he's engaging me as if that's what I believe, just because, of course, I'm coming with the information about the Messiah, about Yahushua. So I had to make it clear to him, no, we only worship the Most High. Right, and I'm utilizing the terminology that they use, because they're afraid of what? That name. They're afraid of the name of the Most High, so they just say the name Hashem, right? But he has a name that they're afraid of. The name is dreadful among the heathen. They're afraid of that name, right? That's why they don't be playing with it. They just say Hashem, right? Let's keep going. Okay, hit your precepts.
Incompatibility.
Psalm 96:4. It says, "For Yahweh is great and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods."
Right, he's above all gods. He's to be feared. So however much the heathen fear Chemosh, Baal, any of those damn Gib, Ra, Amun, any of that stuff. Right. Yahweh is greater to be feared, and he showed that. Yeah. Well, how did he show it? When he to Egypt, he showed it. Yeah. He attacked their gods. Right? And they like the scriptures say that the gods of Egypt. Hold on. Right here.
And so like while you're getting it, just that precept right there alone shows you monolatrism, because it's acknowledging the other gods, but saying what our God is the one that's supposed to be feared and served.
Like, what does it say? It says, but with the consistent worship of only one.
Exactly.
Right. So like it says here in Jeremiah 12:12, Exodus rather 12:12, "For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgments. I am Yahweh." So he showed you right there, he's greater to be feared than the gods of Egypt because of what he did to Egypt. And when you read in the contemporary Egyptian history of this time, they were going through hell. Right. And they documented it. They talked about they got some slave rebellion being led, and it's pure and all hell. Right. So let's keep going with the video. Sacred service to him, right? It's only ever in reference to Hashem. It's never in reference to himself or anybody else.
Okay.
So anybody worshiping him or anything outside of Hashem, right, is wrong.
Okay.
Okay.
But
we still acknowledge him, though. I don't worship him. I don't worship anything outside of Hashem, nor will I ever.
So to understand, the first time in history.
So, and we got to understand this too, because like you said, bowing to, right, proskuneo, bowing down. Matter of fact, let's get Matthew 4:10 actually again, because he makes reference to the term proskuneo here. And this is an important term, and this is rendered to Yahushua and men throughout the Bible. To kiss the hand to onwards one in token of reverence, right? Among the Orientals, especially the Persians, to fall upon the knees and touch the ground with your forehead as an expression of profound reverence. In the New Testament, by kneeling or prostration to do homage to one or make obeisance, whether in order to express respect or to make supplication. Right? So very simple. This is done to pay homage, to give reverence, right? Used in homage shown to men and beings of superior rank. Right? We know Yahushua is the highest ranking human being ever. So you gonna do that, right? Just to give you more understanding on the proskuneo, watch this. Right? We look at this. What's this? Addition of prosthetic implant. Right? So this is like the prosthetics, like a prosthetic leg. That's where that proskuneo comes from. Or no, that's where this a prosthetic leg come from, the term proskuneo, right? So it just means to bow down. It's literally an act. Just like he was saying the Hebrew equivalent would be Baruch or Barak, as we would say it, right? So it's just a distinct difference between how you worship the Most High and how you honor men, which can be translated in the English also as worship. But they're two distinct things, and in the original languages, there's a clear distinction between them conceptually, regardless of what the translators translate them as. People getting things lost in translation. Again, you have to remember that as scholastic as the translators are, they do have a presupposition in their religion. They are Trinitarians, they are Christians. So some of their translation does reflect that. And there are some inconsistencies in certain things that they translate. And this is an example of how they play with that term worship, one. Then two, also another way they play with the Trinity is in that Zechariah 12. They really butchered the translation of Zechariah 12, right? If you look in the Hebrew, it'll clear it all up. But they really butchered that, and that has everything to do with their presupposition of their religion. That's why they put Easter instead of Passover in the book of Acts. Right, but let's keep going.
History. People started worshiping other entities besides the God was in the time of Enoch. Okay, this was a few generations past Adam. Because basically was they understood that God created the world. It was so close to Adam. They saw
what stage is this coming from?
What was that?
What stage is this coming from?
What do you mean what stage is this coming from?
What stage taught on this?
The Rambam discusses.
Rambam, okay.
He discusses this at length. And he basically discusses the same concept of where did this worship veer off from God. And he explains this as an example. You walk into a department store, you want to buy perfume, and you know the guy behind the counter. I'll give you a good deal. So you, instead of you buying it from the department store, you give him slip him 20 bucks. They slip him 20 bucks. You understand? And he gives you the perfume. The owner doesn't know anything about it. But you feel like I paid, I got something on the side. But what's happening is once they started worshiping, it wasn't God is great. I can't worship God directly, so I'm going to worship the stars. And then you start forgetting about the whole concept of God. Then people start veering off this whole nother level.
So he's talking about what the rabbis teach on. And all you have to do is read the Bible and you'll find out that that can't be true. But there's a lot of presupposition that is there, right? And the presupposition, of course, is that Adam and Eve are the first people. This is where this all comes from. Because to say that there was just one way everybody did from the beginning, everybody just did one way. And then somewhere they got veered off. He says in the time of Enosh, which I believe he's talking about Cain's Enosh, right? If you just read the Bible and you know what's going on here, you would know better than any of this, right? So let's go to Genesis 3. No, Genesis 2. Let's start here. Let's go to 9. Let's go later, though. Where is it at? 16. Yeah. You got it? Uh-huh.
The book of Genesis chapter 2, verse 16. It says, and Yahweh commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Come on.
Oh, Salakia. Start again.
It says, and Yahweh commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat. Verse 17, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die.
So we have to start here. So this is long before the time of Enosh. And we already see a commandment here, right? And we see trees being talked about. And then we take a look at the tree that we are not supposed to eat. There's a tree that we are not supposed to eat. So we understand what these trees mean. Ezekiel gives so much clarity on this matter. Right? If we go to Ezekiel 31. Get that?
This is the book of Ezekiel chapter 31, starting at verse 3. Behold, the Assyrian was a cedar in Lebanon with fair branches, and with a shadowing shrewd and of a high stature.
Read on.
And his top was among the thick boughs. The waters made him great. The deep set him up on high with the rivers running round about his plants, and sent out her little rivers unto all the trees of the field. Let me jump down. Verse 8. The cedars in the garden of God could not hide him. The fir trees were not like his boughs, and the chestnut trees were not like his branches, nor any tree in the garden of God was like unto him in his beauty.
See that? So that's talking about the Assyrian,
right?
Their whole kingdom. So now we understand that these trees are not actually trees at all. They are groups of people, nations of people, right? So when we go back and we understand that, we go back at Genesis, we already see there's different nations, and there's a nation who we're told we can't eat from, right? Matter of fact, let me get I believe. It's Exodus 32, 19 to 20. Right, because there's something very key there. When you see they ate, we're talking about eating from the trees, right? It's reminiscent of something in the Bible. Go ahead.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 32, verse 19.
Uh-huh.
And it came to pass, as soon as he came nigh unto the camp, that he saw the calf and the dancing, and Moses' anger waxed hot, and he cast the tables out of his hands and brake them beneath the mount. And he took the calf which they had made and burnt it in the fire.
Okay.
And ground it to powder and strawed it upon the water and made the children of Israel drink of it.
So the children of Israel drank of that idol, and literally ingested the idol after it was ground to powder. Ingested the idol. So now we're looking at idolatry, and we're looking at literally consuming an idol, right? And that was symbolic of something, because that was what was in them. That was what was internalized in us. We were talking about this last night. We're going into Ezekiel 23. Yeah. Get Ezekiel 23 and 1 real quick, matter of fact. I'm going to all that.
Come on, the book of Ezekiel, chapter 23, verse 1. It says, the word of Yahweh came again unto me, saying, Son of man, there were two women, the daughters of one mother, and they committed whoredoms in Egypt. They committed whoredoms in their youth.
Right. So this is even important when it said there's two women, the daughter of one mother. There's a scripture I'm thinking about. Hold on.
About Hosea?
Is that what I'm thinking about? I think you know exactly what I'm thinking about. And this is what's just going to bring this whole thing home. Because I skipped over that mother last night, but it just hit me right now.
Come on. Hosea chapter 1, starting verse 2, the beginning of the word of Yahweh by Hosea. Yahweh said to Hosea, go take unto thee a wife of whoredoms and children of whoredoms.
Not that one. What's that going to say?
Jumping down, which she conceived and bare him a son. And Yahweh said unto him, call his name Jezreel. That was the first son name, and then it was two different sons.
That ain't what I'm thinking about. Where is this? Hold on. The mother.
No. I mean, the two daughters.
Keep going, and I'm gonna try to find it.
In Ezekiel 23?
Yeah, in Ezekiel 23.
Okay, come on. Ezekiel chapter 23, reading verse 3. And they committed whoredoms in Egypt. They committed whoredoms in their youth. There were their breasts pressed, and there they bruised the teats of their virginity. And the names of them were Aholah, the elder, and Aholibah, her sister.
Right. So it's talking about the Egyptians, how the Egyptians basically went in unto us, right? Going all the way back to when we were in captivity under them. So we learned their ways, right? That was inside of us. So when Moses had the children of Israel to ingest that idol, what it was showing was, it was symbolic of the fact that that's what's inside of y'all, idolatry. Where did we learn that idolatry? In Egypt. It said they bruised our teats, right? So they came into us, they indoctrinated us in Egypt. So when it's talking about eating fruit from trees, it's talking about the indoctrination of a people. So automatically we already see, before Enosh is on the scene, contrary to Rambam with this rabbi's teaching, we already see idolatry is present. But we see a commandment in the chosen people not to participate in it, right? What people miss is that the Most High already has a chosen people, an elect that already exists during the time of Adam, because they don't know how to read this, and they think Adam and Eve are the first two people. But the first thing their son does after he kills his brother is go and get a wife in another land. So how is this possible? Right? More on that?
Come on.
Go ahead.
It says, thus were their names. Samaria is Aholah, and Jerusalem, Aholibah. That's it on that.
Okay.
We're just gonna jump down where it says she never left the whoredom that she had.
Yeah,
Yeah, jump down to verse 8. It says, neither left she her whoredoms brought from Egypt, for in her youth they lay with her, and they bruised the breast of her virginity and poured their whoredom upon her.
Right. So they poured their whoredom upon her. So we were very zealous and enthralled in idolatry, just like we are to this day. Our people absolutely love idolatry. Every Negro got a Caesar Borgia piece, jewelry, Latinos with them damn candles and rosaries and all that. We are enthralled with idolatry. It's not a new thing. We've been like that all the way since Egypt. We've been inclined to it. So, but this goes all the way back to Adam, right? More on that.
Well, I was about to say, that preacher, you talking about Ezekiel 16? Or you talking about as is the daughter, so is the mother? Because it was really going into...
It's the Ezekiel. That could be it. All right, go ahead.
Ezekiel chapter 16, starting in verse 43. Because thou hast not remembered the days of thy youth, but hast fretted me in all these things. Behold, therefore, I also will recompense thy way upon thine head, said Yahweh. And thou shalt not commit this lewdness above all thine abominations. Behold, everyone that uses proverbs shall use this proverb against thee, saying, as is the mother, so is her daughter. Thou art thy mother's daughter, that loads her husband and her children. And thou art the sister of thy sisters, which loathe their husbands and their children.
Yeah, that's why he said also in Ezekiel 16, thy mother was a Hittite. Yeah. She's talking about the ways that we were following, right?
Yeah,
talking
that was
about,
right after that.
Talking about, oh yeah, go ahead.
Your mother was an Hittite and your father an Amorite.
See that? The ways we were following. We were following into the idols of Canaan, the idols of Egypt, etc. So idolatry don't just come on the scene with Enoch. So Rambam, his sages, his rabbis that taught him this, don't know what they're talking about, don't know how to decipher the Torah, right? That's the point I'm making. You got something else?
No, that's
all right.
And they start worshiping trees. It's a beautiful thing, a tree. We breathe from trees. Sure, but let's not forget the entity to where it came from. You could say thank you for the trees, but let's not forget the source. Exactly. But understand, that's what people don't know where Christmas trees come from. Where did Christmas trees come from?
From Babylon.
It came from there was people called the Asherah people. They were worshiping trees. And the Christians were like, you know what? How do we get these people with us? You know what? You can bring your trees into. People today don't even know.
And that's not even exactly on point, right? Because when you deal with Asherah, the Asherah people weren't just worshiping trees. Okay, let's make it very clear. There was a specific ritual around the tree that was being done. It wasn't so much about the tree. It was about that damn dance that girl was doing around that tree, right? That's what that was about.
Why they have Christmas trees? But it came from worshiping trees, which is idol worship.
Which was happening in Israel.
Okay. A lot. Okay. You can't judge Jews. You can't judge Judaism by Jews. You can't judge Christians by Christians. Every person is their own individual. Everyone is their own person. Try to get the facts straight.
So let me ask you
this. Try to do good, and that's it.
How do you feel about the conflict right now?
What conflict?
Israel.
What's today different than last year?
Nothing.
Last year, 2 years ago.
It's been going on. Yeah, you guys have been, the Palestinians been sending rockets at y'all. Y'all been sending rockets back at them. Yes, that has been going on. But I'm saying, how do you feel?
How do I feel? Has there been one day since, I don't know, since the creation of Israel, that there wasn't an attack on a Jewish person? One day, forget October 7th. Ever a day, you think you see it on the news when a 7-year-old kid throws a rock at a car driving 100 miles an hour and he crashes with an accident?
No, I don't. I want to understand how that's an attack, though. We're talking about people throwing rocks is an attack. That's like some type of attack. If that's an attack, well, like, what about the attack that we've been subjugated to? One day, we're talking about one day. There hasn't been one day. Well, first of all, why are y'all driving 100 miles an hour? Let's start there. Right? Because if you're not driving 100 miles an hour, when you get hit with a rock in your car, you shouldn't crash. This is crazy. The type of reaching and stretching that they got to do to be oppressed is crazy, right? Don't see it on the news.
How many Jewish kids are attacking Arabs? When has that ever happened? Ever?
So it's great to. That's one of them questions you can ask somebody. It's like, yeah, well, I'm gonna just pull it. Like, first off, so you mean to tell me y'all are not attack? You guys are never offensively attacking those people at all, right? But we got videos on the contrary of that. Well, how bad you've been treating these people. Are you kidding me? Happening right now, though?
We have to protect ourselves. We have a freaking choice.
Well, what about the kids, though?
What about the kids? What do you want to do? The kids, what are you supposed to do? You know how many rockets? I think 10,000, 20,000 rockets all day. You're supposed to just sit there and do nothing? That's what you would do?
No.
You wouldn't do that. Don't tell me about the kids in Gaza. Dude, it's insane to even think for a second.
So what he's telling me is he doesn't care, and nobody should care about the kids in Gaza. Don't tell me about the kids in Gaza. Right? Whose kids are dying more? The kids in Gaza? No, that's good. That's good. The kids in Gaza or the kids in Israel? Who's dying more? The kids in Gaza. Right? If I wasn't afraid of what YouTube would do, I'll show you. All you got to do is go to Instagram. You know what? Damn, I'm not logged in on this computer. Let me try something. Oh, they banned him. What? They banned. So apparently, Salakia, they banned Sean King from Instagram. And this is where I was getting the stuff. So Sergeant Yatar called me. He said, man, just go to Sean King's Instagram. So apparently it says, controversial activist Sean King claimed Instagram removed his profile on Monday because of his pro-Palestinian post. King, an anti-racist activist and writer with a string of failed projects behind him, posted a video on a friend's Instagram account Sunday, thanking his 6 million followers for their support since his profile had been taken down. He said, I'm grateful, I'm safe, and I've been through much harder times than being banned from Instagram. King then pivoted to criticism of Meta, saying the company had decided to stand in the way of those of us who are fighting for the human rights and dignity of Palestinians. Frustrated that Instagram had banned me for fighting for Palestine and speaking up for the human rights and dignity of Palestinians, but I refuse to betray my values and principles by staying silent about this genocide and the war crimes in Gaza and the West Bank, he said in the caption. The activist added in the video that he had attorneys and other people involved and would like to return to the platform, but not if that means compromising my values speaking up for Palestinians. Meta did not immediately respond to a request for comment from the Daily News, but a spokesperson told the New York Post that King's account was disabled due to multiple instances of praise for designated entities in violation of our policies. His Facebook profile remains active. The international nonprofit Human Rights Watch recently criticized Meta for what is called systemic censorship of content related to the Israel-Gaza war, saying the social media giant displayed a pattern of undue removal and suppression of protected speech, including peaceful expression in support of Palestine and public debate about Palestinian human rights. The nonprofit named the suspension or removal of accounts as one of Meta's censorship tools. King, who came into prominence as a commentator during the Black Lives Matter movement, previously stated that and then suddenly shuttered a social justice organization called Justice Together. He then crowdfunded a website. Okay, but they're trying to basically discredit him, saying he had failed projects, whatever. But apparently, because he had basically his whole Instagram was just dedicated to videos of the hospitals being attacked, or the babies being attacked over there in Palestine. So apparently they had enough of it and they just shut it off. Again, this is a part we got to remember. Meta, of course, is the merger of Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. Who is at the helm of all of that? Zuckerberg. Why Berg want anything negative about Israel to be out there? He doesn't want that published. He doesn't want that, his platform utilized for that. So of course he shut the brother down. So when somebody says, when has an Israeli attacked a Palestinian? Well, plenty. That's not hard to find out. He wants us to have a utopian ideology of just the peaceful and non-racist nature of Jewish people in Israel or Israelis, and we know that's far from the truth. We know that, right? So let's go.
retaliation. You have rockets all fucking day coming into the land of Israel.
We're talking about kids, though.
What do you want to do? What do you mean? So what do you do? So the Hamas hide behind kids. What are you going to do? You're supposed to sit and do nothing.
So you're telling me Hamas hide behind kids? So he's saying Hamas is hiding behind kids, and we're supposed to sit and do nothing. Last time I checked, when somebody goes and puts a kid in front of them, or a lady in front of them, an innocent person in front of them, you don't take the shot. That's the last time I checked. That was the protocol. Don't take the shot. Y'all protocol, it doesn't matter. F them kids, F them ladies, F them old people. We're just going to blow a hospital up. I don't think that's justice. I think that, Benjamin Netanyahu should probably be brought up on war crimes, right? Can you prove it? Can you prove Hamas hide behind kids?
Even if you ask me that question, I can't even continue our conversation, period. If you don't think that that's what happened, because it's so, either you're hiding from really doing any investigation work, or yeah.
So my question is, how do we substantiate that Hamas is hiding in the basement of the church? Where are they getting their intelligence from? Have we substantiated that the Hamas has stationed beneath a church? I haven't seen any evidence of that. I know you guys are saying that. I know people will say a lot of things to justify an act of violence. I know people will say a lot of things to say, well, I did that because, this was going on, right? That doesn't make it actual or true just because you say it is. And then let's go back to the red media that Kanye talked about. When you have the power to suppress contrary information, when contrary information is now being designated as hateful just because it is in disagreement, now you have the ability through a propaganda machine to spin a narrative and silence all that contradict it. That doesn't mean I have to accept that Hamas is hiding in the basement of a hospital. I have seen no evidence to suggest of that. I only hear people talk about it. Right? Precept? All right.
I mean, seriously.
I've reported on this since it happened.
Well, then you haven't. How long did you live in Israel for?
I haven't lived in Israel.
Okay, so if you would walk the streets and see what's going on, you would even think for a half a second what I'm saying is so obvious.
I know what's going on. I know what's going on.
So there isn't one Jewish man or soldier who has hate in his heart who's going in to hurt anybody.
Now, that's one of the craziest things I've ever heard in my life. He literally just spoke to the heart's intent of every member of the Israeli Defense Force, as if he is personally familiar with them and knows what goes on in their brains. Let's be serious. And none of them, we have seen them. There's plenty of viral. If you can't see it on Instagram, if you get over to that Twitter, to that X has plenty of videos of all kind of mistreatment, uncalled for mistreatment of innocent Palestinians by the Israeli Defense Force. This is just not true what he's saying.
They're simply trying to defend their, not one.
So you can speak to the heart's intents of every single member of the IDF?
Yes.
Come on, how can you do that?
Because I lived amongst those brothers and sisters.
But you still know.
And they are good people.
I know people in the IDF right now.
People.
I know people in the IDF right now.
They are good, beautiful people who do anything to help.
So you mean to tell me all of them are good, well-intended? Are all of the American army well-intended? Because last I checked, it was over in Iraq, gang raping and murdering. See? Come on now. Everybody in the military just has great intentions, and they just want to protect Israel. They don't want to hurt any Palestinians. They're talking about the extermination of Palestinians. What are we talking about here? Right? But it was good. I was able to go, okay, well, I don't have any incidents that I could just quote off the top of my head about the IDF, but I damn sure know about a lot of heinous acts that the United States military did over there in Iraq. I'm well familiar with that, right? Women.
I remember the story.
You remember. So all I'm saying is, I'm not. There doesn't have to be anything
try
wrong.
To find half a percent to try to justify.
No.
But we all know most of the guys in the soldier are good people. They're not in there to try to evil intent.
I know people.
Okay.
I know people in the IDF, right? I know people in the IDF. I know people that's running the Iron Dome right now.
Okay.
I know people there, right?
Dude,
but I'm still not going to say.
There is no excuse to what's going on. There is no excuse. After you saw the video that happened.
There's no excuse to blow up. There's no excuse to blow up a hospital. There's no excuse to blow up a hospital.
Are you kidding me?
He just said, "Are you kidding me?" There is an excuse to blow up a hospital. right? So there can be a hospital where people are getting treated, people who don't even belong in it for the injuries from the rocket attacks. And there's an excuse to blow up a hospital just because did I see what happened on October 7th. Nicholas Jacobs, how about Shemiel Sharberg, thought worth water. Here's what I know. I know that Dylan Stormroof walked into church and shot a bunch of people. I know that capturing him didn't take the blowing up of a hospital, right? I know that bad people who do bad things get captured all the time without excessive collateral damage and without not having to be at the expense of innocent people, right? All the time. So why is it that y'all got to kill 1,000 innocent people to get 10 niggas from Hamas, right? I need y'all to explain that.
Not see what's going on at the hospital?
Okay,
are you freaking kidding me?
Are there women and children being treated at that hospital?
Are you kidding me?
No,
the whole military was set up under the damn hospital.
So now
I can't even be asking me that question. There's missiles all over the place.
Okay, so kill. The whole military is set up on the hospital. The whole operation is under the hospital. Here, instead of rockets, how about since you IDF, you niggas supposed to know Krav Maga. You niggas supposed to be the illest niggas since Zohan, right? Why don't you niggas just run up in there? Why we gotta send a rocket? Run up in there, get the bad guys. Why is rocket warfare your only option? Just run up, right? But we know how Esau like to do. He like to keep the warfare as long range as possible. That's what he enjoys, right? Right.
What do you want to do?
Okay, so
this missile's coming out the hospital.
Now watch this. That nigga just said his missiles coming out the hospital. What you think about missiles? So there's a silo and open up. They got the helicopter pad up top and open up, and it's a missile. Come on, man. I don't see it.
Scripture say this. Come on. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 37, verse 10. Consult not with one that suspects thee, and hide thy counsel from such as envy thee. Yeah, you can't, if a person got a negative suspicion about you, there's no reason to talk to him about what's going on in Palestine because he's gonna automatically assume all the worst and bro, like
oh yeah, these niggas is pro-Palestine or something.
Yeah.
I gotta come and make it just to make them look. I can't even talk to you if you don't know that. What? If I don't know what? I ain't seen no proof of that. That's crazy. You know?
Bombs at the hospital.
Bombs at the hospital. Right? I'm supposed to believe that. You got to show me. See if you have any objectivity. Let's reverse it. Now let's see the Palestinians. When they kill a Jewish woman, a Jewish child, a Jewish elder, and they feel like their land has been encroached upon. Is that now all right?
What land? That land was encroached upon when? Where the Palestinians from? You don't even know the history? Do you know the history? They're not from Israel.
See, these are
gypsies, Palestinians, and Jordan doesn't want them, Egypt doesn't want them, Syria doesn't want them.
This is the problem, right?
They're not from there.
This is the problem. You have no objectivity. I asked you to put yourself there. It doesn't matter whether or not they have a land or not. Do they believe it?
Sure.
Have they been okay? So now put yourself in their position. Why should they give? Why would they care about your children?
You're supposed to behead freaking children?
Wow. See that? And this is why I said, let's see if you have any objectivity. Let's put you in the place of a Palestinian. How would you feel if you were a Palestinian? Could you understand why the Palestinians are possibly doing what they're doing or why Hamas is doing what they're doing if you can put yourself in their shoes? He can't even do that. He can't even do that. Are you serious? Beheading children? You guys are killing kids too. Don't complain to me about what the Palestinians are allegedly doing when you guys are doing things equally as heinous. That's crazy. What do they say? All is fair in love and war. Well, it's war, ain't it? Okay, then. So things are going to happen, right? But we know what this is leading into here. Let's go.
Man. Behead children, they chopped off a guy's balls, they chopped off a woman's breast. This is worse than any snuff video you could possibly imagine. And you're going to sit in.
You hear that? There's that narrative that what they experience is the worst thing ever. He said, this is worse than any snuff video you can possibly imagine. The narrative is these people suffering is unprecedented and it's worse than any suffering anyone has ever experienced in life. That's what they run with. That's what they bank on, right? Let's go.
To defend such evil people, I can't. It's evilness.
Okay,
it's evil.
It's evilness. Okay, so
it's evil.
So let's talk.
Have you seen those videos?
No, let's talk about.
Have you seen those?
Why I'm gonna watch a video like that, man? I was never a nigga that was on rotten.com taking a look at, you know what I'm saying, all the people getting beheaded. I'm not watching that. That's wild.
Dude in middle school had rotten.com.
You already know
the
the kids of rotten.com, man, they grew up wrong, man. They was off as hell. Lord only knows the type of monster them niggas grew up to be.
Watching cartel execution.
Yeah, watching the cartel executions. Exactly.
Folks just standing there, can't do nothing. Just
watching the Arabs over there in the Middle East. The Arab be killing the hell out of you. I remember I seen this Arab. He was just driving up on different cars. They was just lighting them up. Firing them niggas up. You thought you had something? All the stuff that they're talking about, we ain't seen it. Have you seen the video? Well, where are the videos? Like, I never even heard of these videos until right now. You telling me about the damn video, right? You know what I'm saying? He ain't seen the video. This bad. Have you seen the videos? There's baddings. What?
Same way he ain't seen the video of a rocket coming out of a hospital.
They don't even got that many rockets. They be sending rockets, but you niggas got the Iron Dome, the most sophisticated defense system in the world. They send rockets, you intercept it. What's the problem? Let's talk about evil. That's evil. Let's talk about evil. Let's talk about the role of Jewish people in the transatlantic slave trade. Let's get to some real evil, right? Let's see if he's ready to own up to that. Conquest of North, Central, and South America. Is that evil? Is slavery evil? Is rape, robbery? He don't even know what to do right now, right? Murdering children evil?
Hell yeah.
Or Jewish Confederates evil? I have a whole book on Jewish Confederates. So now, should I give a damn about any of your people dying, knowing what happened to my ancestors at the head of your people?
And my ancestors were. Let's talk about today, brother.
Let's talk about today, brother. Oh, I'm brother now, right? Okay. See, but this is what they do, right? This is a textbook example of how they gaslight things. Because my whole point was, we weren't even talking about us yet, right? My whole point was, okay, you telling me about what your people are going through. Okay, can you put yourself in the shoes of the Palestinian? Okay, no, you can't. So you're so affected by what you're saying is happening to y'all that you can't even have empathy with the other side at all. Okay, cool. So if that's the case in this conversation, I shouldn't extend you any empathy either. So now let's talk about what our people went through at your hands. We should feel that same way towards you. Thus, we shouldn't give a damn about any suffering that you guys are experiencing, right?
Let's talk about today. Why are we going on so much hate in the past? Let's work on right now.
Okay,
why are you telling me hate Confederates?
Okay.
People preaching, get people riled up, and they go attack mobs.
Okay.
Let's work on right now.
Everybody calm down.
Let's make peace.
Okay, now let's make peace. If we ain't worried about the past, why did y'all leave Eastern Europe and go in 1948 to Israel then? That was your land in the past. Y'all have been Europeans.
They were being slaughtered by Nazis.
But
they ran anywhere they could.
This is so great. I'm so happy about this point I made. The Most High gave me this point. Because it's the past. They caught all the Nazis. They rounded them up. And put them in prison, right? So why y'all come back to a place that you left 1,000, 2,000 years ago, right? Y'all admit that y'all left and went to Europe 2,000 years before World War II. Why did y'all feel like y'all needed to come back somewhere? All the bad guys are gone. It's safe to live in Germany now. It's safe to live in Poland. It's safe to live in goddamn Ukraine now, right? But instead, y'all went to your 2000. That's like saying, damn, man, I just had a home invasion in my house. I'm about to move back to the house I grew up in. It's to say, what? Why? The police got the guys. They're locked up, all right? Call goddamn ADT and you'll be fine, right? Instead, you niggas went to move to your alleged house that you grew up in. What?
What do you want?
But the Nazis got destroyed. The Nazis were destroyed. The Nazis were defeated. The Nazis were imprisoned. The Nazis were executed. All of those.
So what are you saying? They should have stayed in Germany? What are you
Why
saying?
not? If that's your land now, be a patriot for
That
Germany.
was their land. They were thrown out from place to place.
Okay. God, the story is always the same, guys. They were thrown out from place to place. Everywhere we go, we were thrown out. So then why y'all was so deep in Germany, Debak? Exactly. The scriptures say they couldn't wait to get a hold of us, and they don't want to let us go. These guys were kicked out. Everything about them is the opposite of what the prophecies say. This is why everybody can go back and look at a book, not a book, so like a debate with myself and Dr. Michael Brown on who are the legit Jews. Every prophecy leads, all of God's words say it's us. Right? All the stuff they made up, they have some DNA test, and then I even used the DNA evidence, the linguistic evidence, all their standards were used against them as well. But all of God's words, which outweigh all of that other stuff, clearly paints the picture that we are the Israelites. All of it, right? These guys get kicked out everywhere they go. The Israelites are held on to, and these people want to take us with them everywhere that they go. Who we got? Fapo, Yalbashim Yal Sharp, I thought with water, brother. So this is just nuts. They were kicked out of everywhere. Watch this. Kicked out of everywhere. I gotta talk about that, right? Okay, the Rhineland is a loosely defined area of Western Germany, along the Rhine, chiefly its middle section. Historically, the term Rhinelands refers, physically speaking, to a loosely defined region embracing the land on the banks of the Rhine in Central Europe, which were settled by the Ripuarian and Sicilian Franks, became a part of Frankish Austrasia, Jesus Christ. In the High Middle Ages, okay, boom, boom. There's a point I want to make here because some very specific people. What's that family? What's that damn family called? There we go, the Colonimus family. Watch this. Because this is where the Colonimus family was from. Watch this. So now look. So there's the Rhineland massacre. So this is where a lot of them were killed, right? Or were a series of mass murders of Jews perpetrated by mobs of French and German Christians of the People's Crusade in the year 1096, right? These massacres were often seen as the first sequence of anti-Semitic events in Europe, which culminated in the Holocaust. So here's what we have to understand. Background. The Crusade. It also is likely that the Crusaders were motivated by the need for money. The Rhineland communities were relatively wealthy, both due to their isolation and because they were not restricted as Catholics were against money lending. So they was getting their money being lenders, right? Well, didn't the scripture say we would the Jews would not be the lenders? Isn't that in the Bible? Okay. Many Crusaders had to go into debt to purchase weaponry and equipment for the expedition, as Western Catholicism strictly forbade usury. So this is important, right? This is very important because they'll spin it like it was just an inherent hatred that was had that compelled these people to kill. Now, let's look at this. It's also likely that the Crusaders were motivated by their need for money. The Rhineland communities were relatively wealthy, both due to their isolation and because they were not restricted as Catholics were against money lending. Many Crusaders, which are Catholics, had to go into debt in order to purchase weaponry and equipment for the expedition. What expedition? The Crusade. As Western Catholicism strictly forbade usury, wow, imagine that. The Catholicism is practicing the law better than the Jewish. Many Crusaders inevitably found themselves indebted to Jewish moneylenders. Having armed themselves by assuming the debt, the Crusaders rationalized the killing of Jews as an extension of their Catholic mission. So they used a mask of religion to justify it, but what it was is they were in debt and they didn't want to pay their debts back, so they just killed. That's all it was. I don't want to pay a debt back. Let's go to war. That's all that is. It ain't had nothing to do with we just hate Jewish people. It was like, you know what? Them niggas killed Jesus anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, But that really wasn't the motivating factor. It's just like you got cool with somebody who's your enemy, and then you like find a reason to cry. Be like, man, I don't fuck with them niggas no way. That's all that was. It wasn't just an inherent racist agenda or motive for these crimes. So we have to start there with this. They ran us out of everywhere. No. These niggas ain't want to pay their debt back, so they went and got it back in blood. Simple. Right? But the point here with the Rhinelands is that they had been here. They don't just get kicked out of here, right? They're all over the place. Rhineland were attacked, but the leadership and membership of these crusader group was not chronicled. Some Jews dispersed eastward to escape persecution. And we're getting kicked out. Some said, all right, we out. We don't want to deal with this. Naturally, after it happened, right? But that most still stayed, right? So there were areas where they were kicked out of. Don't get that twisted. And hold on, so like where Jews were kicked out of. I wanted that to be clear. Where Jews were kicked out of. Now, were they them or were they us? The Jews that were getting kicked out. That's we have to look at each individual situation and judge that. But let's give them that they were the ones in the Rhineland. They had been there for a very, very long time, right? So they weren't just kicked out of everywhere. That's another false narrative. Okay, but they were in Germany.
Don't be ignorant. That's not what happened.
You just told me your people were from Germany, Poland, Czechoslovakia.
Sure.
Why didn't they stay there?
They were freaking. My grandmother was killed with 8 children. The house was burnt down. They had nothing.
Was your grandfather killed?
His wife was killed. My grandmother's husband was killed, and my grandmother's mother was killed. In the freaking country, my grandmother had the freaking tattoo on her arm. She was in Auschwitz.
Okay, but then
what do you mean?
Then the Nazis were defeated. They weren't there putting anybody in concentration camps anymore. Why leave? Why leave?
They didn't have anything. You're so funny. They came to America with nothing. They were turning around the whole world.
Now, and did they have anything in Israel?
They weren't being killed.
But they weren't being killed.
They were running for their lives.
But you weren't being killed in Europe anymore if the people killing you were defeated. So let's just take a look at this. World War II. That's when it happened, right? When was World War II over? 1945. When did they start going to Israel? 1948. It's 3 years. That's 3 years. Y'all niggas not getting killed no more. What? This is crazy.
And your question is, how come they came back to their homeland? No. What is your question?
Here's my point.
Jews have been in Israel for 3,500 years.
Sir, I need you to follow.
I'm following.
You said, why am I talking about the past when I bring up the Jewish role in the transatlantic slave trade?
The transatlantic slave trade.
And
slave was a very normal thing happening.
You see that? And there's the gaslighting. Slave was a very normal thing happening. Slavery. Schwartzes, who cares? Slavery is a normal thing. Why? Is slavery a normal thing today? Let me ask him that. Is that a normal thing today? Okay, then. Right? So what do you mean slavery is a normal thing happening? Let's focus on today. See that?
Slavery was a very normal thing happening.
Okay, and your women and children being beheaded is a very normal thing happening. Why should I care? Why should I give a good goddamn? Exactly. No problem. I shouldn't care. You don't care. Why should I give a... You notice how we got to give a damn. And to hell with we got to give a damn. We give a damn. We got footage at the Palestinian march that came by our camp spot here in Atlanta a few weeks. What was that? About a month ago or something like that? And guess who led the march? A black woman led the whole march. She had a cool little rhyme. How did her rhyme go? We got it on camera. How did her rhyme go? She had a whole little rhyme. Yeah, she was flowing though. She had a cool little rhyme. Right? It's on the Atlanta Pill. Let's go to it. Sicarii Atlanta. And subscribe to that. You ain't subscribed to Sicarii Atlanta. Something wrong with you. Right? You said what? Hold on, let me stay here. It's good now. You said what, Debak? It's a brother on our page who had an argument with us that we wasn't over there supporting. Oh, we're gonna take a look at all this. Right, this one's back up. Her that crazy sister. Okay, Well, what video?
It might be dude right there. It's with the dude that you was talking to.
Oh, cuz right here. Okay. There, you see her? Y'all see her? Look at it. Get the mads up. So she's saying from ATL to Palestine, occupation is their crime. So like y'all, we ain't showing. Let me go back. Let me go back. My fault, y'all. So from ATL to Palestine, occupation is their crime.
Occupation is a crime.
From Palestine to Mexico. Something got to go.
From Palestine to the Philippines. Palestine to the Philippines. And the U.S. war machine. And the U.S. war machine.
So she got a little boys, and she's leading this whole group. So this, our people, not only do they want us to hell with what they want. We are literally giving ourselves to everything and every cause and everyone in the world. We are giving ourselves to that. You see how that works? It's crazy. And then we're being told, like, but my thing is, and I was hoping that somebody was going to engage me once I got up there. And I would just very simply say, I have no room to care about anybody else. I'm sorry. Hey, is it horrible what's going on in Palestine? Sure. I have no room to be on a crusade for Palestinians. No room. I have so much love, exceeding abundant love for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to a point where I just don't have any more room for anybody else. I'm sorry. I just don't got it. Right, Marcus Fair, how about Shemi Al-Shabrak Thawat? What do you got a precept?
It's the book of the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 25.
Uh-huh.
It says, withhold thy foot from being unshowed,
Mhm.
and thy throat from thirst.
Read on.
But thou sayest, there is no hope. No, for I have loved strangers, and after them will I go.
That's our people. We love strangers, and after the strangers, we will go. These people know they need to come get us. They know it. They want their cause to make. We got to go with the blacks. The blacks gonna turn this thing up.
Right.
There's a whole religion that's big on the West Coast. I'm sure it's penetrating the South now. We call it Korean Jesus, right? Let me tell y'all about it. Korean Jesus. Watch this. World Mission Society Church of God. Right? The World Mission Society Church of God is a new religious movement originating in South Korea in 1964. After Eun Sung-hong died in 1985, Kim Joo-chul and Zhang Jelja changed the church's name to Witness of Eun Sung-hong Church of God. Thereafter, the church expanded its activities to other parts of the world and began using the name World Mission Society Church of God. Its headquarters, as well as its main church, are located in the southeast of the Seoul metropolitan area. To see in the info, okay, boy. So this is their main. What is the church in D.C. Right? The church believes in Christ unsung home. So they believe that this is Jesus. This is Jesus, guys. Right? Okay. And God the Mother is her right here. Can we get a picture of her? Let's get a picture. Let's get a picture of God the Mother. Here she is. A Korean lady, as my grandma would say. Korean. This Korean lady is, I think I just saw her at American Deli, and apparently it's God. Right? So this is what this church believes. But do you know how they're rapidly expanding? Black and Hispanic people. Everybody who I've ever encountered from this church is black or Hispanic. Yes. Every single one. People know if they want a movement, if they want to prey on somebody's spirituality or prey on somebody's activism, they know black and Hispanic people are where you go. That's who you exploit. That's who you go get. They're finna turn it up. Taz Yah, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Barakatah Wath. Right? They know it. And the cold part is we're going to sign up. We're going to sign up in droves to say that this is God, this lady, okay, who you just got a 10-piece from. Her. This is wild. Right? But that's our people. Anybody, any cause, we gonna get behind it. Right? Let's go. You see, if you don't care about mine, I shouldn't care about yours.
I don't care.
You just
let's talk about right now. You talk about properties that I can't defend. I'm showing you videos that happen.
You just gaslighted. That nigga just said he's showing me video. He ain't showing me a goddamn thing. He's showing me the video. He showed me nothing. Gaslighted the suffering of a collective.
God forbid.
I want to give a powerful shout out to a priest in a battle axe by the name of Tazar, man. Whose composure throughout this interaction has just been amazing. It's like he's not even there. He's staring forward like nothing is happening.
Who knows more suffering than as a Jewish man?
Who knows more suffering?
Yeah.
See that? He's affirming their bias that they have suffered more than anybody else. I'm going to tell you something, right? What is the ethnicity of the richest Haitian? Can anybody tell me? Jewish, right? You're going to tell a Haitian you suffer more than this. You stand in front of two Haitians right now, actual Levites, and the richest person in our country is one of your cousins, right? That's our country, though. You guys are not. It's barely any of y'all in our country. It might be 1,000 Jewish people in Haiti. And one of them happens to be the richest nigga in Haiti, not Wyclef Jean, who has the biggest record in the history of time with Sicarii. No, he can't be the richest Haitian. It's a Jewish man is the richest Haitian, right? Are you kidding me? Go ahead.
Book of Psalms chapter 73, starting at verse 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm.
See that? You get upset when you see this.
Yeah.
You get angry when you see the wicked in their prosperity. Naturally. Go ahead.
They are not in trouble as other men.
They don't have any of the experiences that we have. But he's going to sit there and tell us that nobody has suffered more than his people. Right. He's going to tell us that as we still suffer from the impact of the Middle Passage. We still suffer from the impact of the conquest of the Americas. And we always emphasize that stuff that started over 500 years ago, but there's stuff that happens today. There's stuff that happened last year, last decade, last century, stuff that's in the works that all still affect us. So it hasn't stopped in over 500 years for us, but somehow you are more acquainted with suffering than us. You who get to jet set around the world. I remember, and I'll never forget this, in San Diego, we encountered a young Jewish gentleman who was on a global vacation. He was spending 6 months on vacation, and he was going to different locations all over the world. We asked him one simple question. What do you do? What did that nigga say? I'm a waiter. A waiter is able to go on vacation all over the world. An Israeli waiter, right? That's unforgettable, right? I know a waiter in Atlanta who didn't even bring in $40 the other night. Left work with $35 after a 7-hour shift. Am I lying, Isaiah? He was right there. Right? You think you can jet set around the globe take 6 months off of work, making that kind of money in Atlanta, Georgia, with all these Negroes spending all this money, right?
Somehow it's flustered over to you. All the money just
got
funneled over to this guy.
But somehow this guy could take 6 months off work to jet set. Are you kidding me? But you guys are more acquainted with suffering?
Yeah.
What? Let's go.
Yeah, it's a little more. It says, they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore, pride compasses them about as a chain, violence covers them as a garment. Verse 8, they are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily.
But break it down, so
like I said, they are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. When it's time to actually, admit and empathize with other people's oppression, they instantly try to disregard and derail the conversation and put it back on themselves. Right. So, it's amazing how he can completely disregard, all the suffering and oppression that we clearly have suffered much more intensely than them. And nevertheless, somehow we got to empathize with them and what's going on with them and what has happened to them, quote unquote.
Right. Let's get back to it.
As a Jewish man, what country were we not persecuted from?
Everybody that you're standing in front of knows more suffering.
That's right.
Did you know whose suffering is more greater than mine?
Yes.
Well, how do you know
Everybody standing here.
How do you know their suffering is greater than mine or mine is greater than theirs?
Because we live it.
I don't live it as a Jewish man.
You literally just said that your suffering was greater. Now that I said
what land have we not been thrown out for?
No, you said who knows suffering better than a Jewish man. That's what you said. So you just said that your suffering was greater. So I'm now saying that ours is greater. You can't be mad. No, well, who could say who suffers greater? Nigga, you just said it. What are we talking about?
That's what I said.
Okay.
We can't judge whose suffering is more. Who's having a bad relationship.
But you did it though. You did it. And I know you own something over there, nigga, and you don't want to tell nobody. I know you're probably a part of the ownership of that Latin club. Let me find out what that Latin club is. Hold on. I want to find out that Latin club. Ghost Bar. Oh, it is one in Atlanta, Lord in Christ. Ghost Bar Hollywood. Right. What's in Davie, technically? Okay. Okay, where is it at? Okay, so hold on. What's this Latin club? That's at G7 Rooftop. Let's take a look at G7 Rooftop. Let's do some investigation here. It's Japanese fusion. So they were having a Latin party, but apparently this is some Japanese fusion. Let's try to get into some information here. Facts, jobs. I want to just see if I can find out who owns this damn thing. No. We're going to figure this out. Hold on. Great website. Contact. It's kosher certified. That tells me a lot. Hold on. G7 Rooftop. Who owns? You said it's Eric.
Yeah. It says it's a great kosher restaurant. Welcome G7 Rooftop. Eric, the owner, was an absolute pleasure to work. He made all of our preparation seamless. Let me go to. I'm gonna find it.
Eric.
Somebody named Eric.
My Jewish Listings.
Yep.
G7 Rooftop in Hollywood, Florida.
Yep.
That nigga want to play them games.
Yeah.
I said, nigga, what you own around here? I own myself here. You know, I just own me. I knew it.
You don't even ask him
No,
his name, did you?
I never asked him his name, though.
Probably
That's probably him.
Probably Eric, bro.
Listen, I told the nigga, I said, man, what you own around here, man? That nigga said, hey, man, I own myself, man. You said, pull up. We're going to try to find a picture, Eric. Hold on, let's go. My Jewish Listing. That's good to know, though. The restaurant is quote unquote cold. We go in there eat something. You know. Look at this beef niggy maki. Beef niggy maki. Watch this, Eric. Let me put in Eric, owner, G7 Rooftop. Oh my God! Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! Kosher hotels planned near Seminole Hard Rock Casino. Jewish tourists who want to visit the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood will be able to stay at a kosher hotel directly across the street, starting in late 2023. And they may have another kosher option near the tribal resort by late 2024. So that means this whole hotel.
Yeah.
Wow, he may be a part of the hotel ownership. The 100-room Dolce by Wyndham Hollywood will feature a Sabbath elevator. What? A Sabbath elevator that automatically stops on every floor. So you don't have to press the buttons. Oh my God. Manual room keys. A rooftop kosher restaurant and bar, G7 Rooftop, among other features designed to appeal to observant Jewish guests. Sharon Sheraby, one of the developers of Dolce by Wyndham Hotel project, said some Florida hotels provide kosher services during Jewish holidays, but so this is Sharon. Let's look at who this is, because this is who owned the hotel. It was Saturday night. Okay, so this is Sharon Sheraby, it looks like. Okay, so that's not him. So he ain't the big boss. Who's one of the developers of Dolce by Wyndham Hollywood project, said the Florida hotel provide kosher service. Okay. But his will be the only one to cater to observant Jewish people year round. Nobody does it 365 days a year. Well, that's great. That's great. That's a great idea. Sheraby said his kosher accommodations will appeal to Jewish travelers who love casinos more than beaches. These are people who look at casinos like the ocean. They want to wake up in front of a casino. Okay. Okay, and then they're going to open up another one that's twice the size. Okay. Right. So he says, the Seminole, okay, boom. Okay, they're going to be around $250 a night. So they're also cheaper than. That's crazy. I ain't gonna lie, I might have stayed in there. That's wild. Okay. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Right. But yeah, so as we see, there's a whole the Jewish community, they're in control of that whole thing. So I wasn't far off when I asked him what did he own around there. But he wants to talk about suffering. You guys were able to open up a whole beautiful hotel totally catered to your community, your beliefs, your practices. When are we able to do that? When do we have the luxury or the ability to do something like that? That's my question, right? I would love to understand how y'all were thrown out of every country, but you chose to pick up and leave the countries and go to Israel. That was a choice. That was a choice. Was slavery a choice? I know good and goddamn well leaving Germany and going to Israel was a choice for sure.
Choice to go to Israel?
To go to Israel in 1948. That was a choice. You didn't have to go.
You didn't have to go. Where should we been?
You could have stayed there because the impending threat was defeated and imprisoned, executed, etc. The Nazis
so they decided
lost.
To get up and lose their houses and their property and nothing.
Who?
People lived
The
in
Jews
Germany.
and the Nazis.
They had money. They had stature. They had a house, and they decided let's leave and leave everything. They didn't have a choice. Everything was taken from them.
Wait, who didn't have a choice?
Jews living in Poland.
Okay, so now the same way you didn't have anything in Israel. You didn't have anything in Germany or Poland. You didn't have anything in Israel.
They get up and all leave. It's so funny. You think it's easy? You think people want to do it?
I mean, so why did y'all do it? Why did y'all stay?
Obviously, there was a reason.
Why are we talking about
patriotic to what? A country that wanted to kill you?
Why are we talking about a place, right? Why? Because you said don't focus on the past. So why are we talking about your home?
There's a time to talk about
2,000 years
brother,
ago.
I didn't say let's not talk about history.
Yes, sir.
I'm not saying let's not talk about history.
Salakia, who that? Tanya, Yahweh Shemi Al-Shabar Gatha Water says. Keeping the $2 drive alive. Okay.
Let's learn from history. Let's better ourselves and try to be better people as of today.
Yes.
So I'm discussing every time we stop. What do you deflate?
Shout out Landon in the cut.
Go to the next. Slavery Transjordan. I said right now, Israel is constantly being attacked by bad evilness. If you can't call out evilness,
I have no problem.
Okay, if you see babies being beheaded and women being raped and murdered, call a spade a spade. Why can't you just say that was evil?
It's evil.
What is evil?
I have no problem.
Excellent.
And also what's happening to the Palestinians is evil too.
So what would you suggest?
So now he says, so what would you see? His retort to, well, what would you suggest we do other than evil? I thought evil is evil. Evil is bad. How are you justifying your evil now?
Do.
I have no suggestion.
So the suggestion is you go when you take over the land. Let me tell you something.
I have no suggestion.
Have you ever been to Gaza? Okay, I went to Gaza in 1990. There was a place called Hotel California. I used to go for Shabbat with all my friends and parties there. It's $100 a night. Stunning place. Gorgeous. Hotel, beautiful place. Okay? There used to be agriculture. They would grow lettuce here. This was the least world in agriculture. They had lettuce grown without any bugs. They were growing marijuana plants. They're beautiful industry, right? They said, let's make peace with the Arabs. Let's give them back this land. Beach land, stunning property. There were protests in Israel.
Right?
Okay.
But we still executed, etc. The Nazis
they decided
lost.
to get up and lose their houses and their.
Why? Because you said don't focus on the past. So why are we talking about your home?
I said there's a time to talk about
2,000 years
brother,
ago.
I didn't say let's not talk about history.
Yes, sir.
I'm not saying let's not talk about history.
Okay.
Let's learn from history. Let's better ourselves and try to be better people as of today.
Yes.
So I'm discussing every time we stop. What do you deflate? You go to the next. Slavery Transjordan. I said right now, Israel is constantly being attacked by bad evilness. If you can't call out evilness,
I have no problem.
Okay,
calling
if
out
you
evil,
see babies being beheaded and women being raped and murdered, it's call a spade a spade. Why can't you just say that was evil?
It's evil.
What is evil?
I have no problem.
Excellent.
And also, what's happening to the Palestinians is evil too.
So what would you suggest to do?
I have no suggestion.
So the suggestion is you go
listen,
and you take over the
no,
land.
listen,
Let me tell you something.
I have no suggestion.
Have you ever been to Gaza?
I
Okay.
So real quick, he said the solution is you go and you take over the land. Okay, so how is Russia wrong? Then they're having that problem with Ukraine. Go and take over the land then. How are the Mexican immigrants wrong? Go and take over the land that was once theirs in Texas and California and New Mexico and Arizona. Why not? That's my question.
I went to Gaza in 1990. There was a place called Hotel California. I used to go for kebabs with all my friends.
Soldier General Yahweh Shemi Al Shabrak Water.
Parties there, it's $100 a night. Stunning place. Gorgeous. Hotel, beautiful place. Okay? There used to be agriculture. They would grow lettuce here. This was the leading world in agriculture. They had lettuce grown without any bugs. They were growing marijuana plants. They're beautiful industry, right? They said, let's make peace with the Arabs. Let's give them back this land. Beachland, stunning property. There were protests in Israel. I was at that protest not to give that land to the Arabs. Why? Exactly what happened. You're going to give it back. You're going to start shooting missiles from there. It's exactly what happened. Okay? I got arrested for protesting then. Once in my life, I got arrested because I didn't believe, because I believe evil people are going to be evil. They had billions of dollars they spent on our weaponry and funnels instead of giving it to their people.
That's true.
If those kids, and who's the leading party in Gaza? Hamas. People voted for them. They give them salaries.
Well, because they're patriots.
They teach the kids at 2 years old to slaughter Jews. At 2 years old, cartoons that they're showing them. They're teaching hatred. Now, can I tell you, is every single military guy in Israel, or some of them don't have revenge in his heart because the sister was taken hostage? I can't say that.
That's understandable.
But the Jewish people overall are.
But here's what we have to understand. There was not enough women taking hostages for enough of or a substantial amount of the IDF to feel that way, right? There's not enough collective victimization of Israelis presently for you to act as if that's the motivating factor, or if there's not an inherent racist bias against Palestinians that Israelis have for one reason or another.
Good God-fearing people.
But atheism is the most popular religion in Israel. And that was the mic drop on that. The rest of this, of course, is at czyn.network. If you use promo code Deacon Sicarii, you can save on your subscription over at czyn.network. It's at least about 20 more minutes of this interaction that's available there. And you can also, if you sign up on CZYN, you will get your invitation to Sicarii's Passover here in Atlanta. If you can't make it here to Atlanta March the 22nd, you can get the option to purchase the live stream and watch along and keep the Passover with us from the comfort of your own home. Those offers, or that pay-per-view offer, is exclusive to CZYN Network subscribers. The only other way to get your invitations to get your Passover tickets are to be in Sicarii varsity or to be an active prospect of the Sicarii camp. Right. But that was a very, very interesting exchange, to say the least. We going back to Florida too. You know, we might stop on by that hotel. We should have booked. Hey, where Nashar at? Yeah, he's on duty. Yeah, man. We might should have booked that hotel, man. Now I know they got that kosher hotel. Next time I go down there, I might book it. Right, Ash M. How about Shemi Al Shabrak Water sis? Might book that hotel next go around. Who knows, right? Very interesting. What I want to do now, though, is definitely open the floor for questions. So you can go ahead and read the questions as they come in. War Dog Isaiah. We'll take some questions out of the chat. Again, we had a nice Arctic freeze today in Atlanta, so we decided to stay in the chat. Book the document the whole thing. Staying, Hebrew Israelites stay at kosher hotel. I think we'll love it, though, right? Because, you know, that it's going to cater to us. It's going to be more catered to us than a regular hotel. Yeah. Right? We're not Friday, Saturday, Sabbath keepers, though. So, you know, we might need to go out weekend where we keeping where the new moon's on that Friday to Saturday, and we go and just truly enjoy our whole experience there at the hotel. Passover, we're keeping Passover March the 22nd. If you'd like to follow any of our High Holy Day calendar, right, I'm going to show y'all what to do. You type this in, SHABAT.DATE, Shabbat.date. Boom. And there it is. There are all the dates, right? So as you can see, March 9th, first new moon of the new year, and then Passover Friday night to Saturday night. We're doing something very special to this weekend. So of course we're doing Passover, and that's going to be an invite only. The next day we're doing Sicarii Soul Food live. We got a venue for it. We will be selling tickets for it. Those of y'all who got the Passover invitation, you'll be extended the offer of half off tickets. Those of you who got VIP Passover tickets, you'll have free admission to that Saturday event. And we'll actually also be having tickets for that Saturday event, which will be March the 23rd, available on urbangorilla.com soon. And then that Sunday, we're having a free event at the same venue, and it'll be a Sabbath service for the start of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. That'll be Sunday in the daytime, March the 24th. So definitely, y'all, come show up here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's going to be going down again. If you ain't signed up at CZYN, enrolled in Sicarii Varsity, or an active prospect in Sicarii, you will not be getting your invitations to Sicarii's Passover. Those are the only ways, right? But this is the calendar, okay? As the New Year calendar came out, no, the New Year's hasn't even happened yet, right? So around the time of the New Year, no later than that, should you expect for the new calendar to be out. But this is always going to be the home of our calendar right here, Shabbat.date. That is Shabbat.date. All right. So people be asking, what is it? It's always in the description, but there it is right there. Right. The water brother, Alan Cooper. Shout out to Alan Cooper, man. He be on top of it. He's a powerful brother. And a great help. Great help to this ministry. Shout out to my coaster as well. You feel me? Right. Quadash gave it to you. I don't know who made it. All right. Lady at his job. That's the card. She crafted it. We got a powerful, we got an alabaster box. All right. I don't think it's alabaster, but we're gonna call it the alabaster box. All right. You know, so yeah, we got the dominoes in there, all that matching through the spirit. So all praises. You know, y'all see the new desk mats we got. These right here. Right. Yeah, these just too far. I might have to put them on Urban Grill. Let people come buy these. You know what I'm saying? These is hard. Right. But yeah, you had something, Tazalia? Show what? Let's show the desk match here. I'll hold it up. Y'all see that? So it's not just a mouse pad. You put everything on the keyboard, everything up on here. Right? That it just match the cell phone cases. Right? You know what I'm saying? You know, it's just gorilla crazy. You know, we got a brand. God's righteous laws avail, y'all. Never forget. All right. All praises. What's the link to the New Hebrew Bible? What's the website? Ariana's website. HIB Official Zion. Let's go to it. Hold on. Let me pull it up. HIB Official Zion.com. There it is. HIBofficialzion.com. Right. It's not on back order. It's available. Buy the book. Oh, it's sold out. Salakia. It's sold out. But here it is, so y'all can see it. It's sold out. This is a hot ticket. It is a hot ticket, y'all. This is the Bible here. All right. Ariala Ben Yahweh of Sicarii. Very powerful. It's a King James version, though. So it's a King James version.
Revised King James version.
But it's a revised King James version, right? Meaning that it's essentially the King James version, but there are some additions, right? He said HIB's coming soon. Stay tuned. So just keep checking in on that website, HIBofficialzion.com. And our brother Ariala, man, when those things are back available, they'll be available. You got an email list on there, Ariala? Can we join the email list? Because you can sign up If I was y'all, I'd sign up, and then maybe y'all get updates when the new one come out. But yeah, questions, y'all shoot your questions.
Like the brother Ariala said, it has none of the KJV mistakes and Paleo Hebrew transliterations and the Most High's name in the Paleo font. And he got red letter, like, things of that nature.
Yeah, what up, question? Niggas ain't got questions? Go ahead.
Turned down though with the questions. So.
That's crazy. That's wild. Any questions on the floor? What's up with this 13-month shit when ancient days say it was 10 months, January and February added months? When does ancient days say it's 10 months? When does the Bible ever say anything about 10 months? Can you tell me? Because I ain't never heard nothing about that. 13 months is for a leap year, sir. Right. What's the Bible verse for the age to marry is 21? Well, it didn't say 21. Right, low key. So I need you to rephrase your question. When does it say that it's okay to marry after 20? Brother Yom, how about Shemi al Shabrak Worth Water? From April to December. What are you talking about from April to December? I don't. Where are you getting this from, brother? I'm confused. January and February are added months by the Romans. How are January? If so, what is the time in between December and April? It don't have a name. That's 3 months.
So I'm about to say that would take away from his point. He said 10 months. That's 9 months.
That's crazy.
You need March for it to be 10 months, bro.
Natazan, the price of the book is $120. Oh, masha, I do have the Walgreens hat again. Salakia. If only they understood what these hats were about, Kodash. You know what I'm saying? They're over here talking about Walgreens 666. You guys are far off. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I can see 2 6s, but like, where's the third 6? I'm kind of lost. Okay, the brother said it's named after the Greeks. Number one, we never put none of those names on a month. We never put no names on months until we came out of the Babylonian captivity. We just numbered the months the same way we numbered the days. We had no names on days or months. You can't find it in Torah anywhere, right? Where does it say it's okay to marry after 20? That's the question that you want to ask, right? So let's take a look at it. Let's go here. Share this tab, right? So here's what you want to do, right? You want to go to, I think this is it. Yep. Numbers 32 and 17. But we ourselves will go ready armed before the children of Israel until we have brought them unto their place. And our little ones shall dwell in the fenced cities because of the inhabitants of the land. So what it's telling you is that the army is going to go forth to fight and the little ones are going to stay back. Now we go to Numbers 1 to find out who is eligible to be in the army, right? And they assembled all together, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward by their polls. So this is the army of Israel being assembled, right? So you had to be at least 20 years old to be a part of the army of Israel. If you weren't a part of the army, right, to go forth armed, you were what? A little one that dwelt behind in the fenced cities. So this shows what now in America is 18 and ancient Israel was 20. So that was the age of adulthood, right? To further prove that, let's go to
Exodus 31.
Exodus 31. Hold on. 30. Yep, this is 27. Leviticus 27. Yep. So this is about the estimation. Yeah. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When a man shall make a singular vow, the person shall be for Yahweh, right? By thy estimation. You got it?
Yeah, honestly, that's
Okay,
what I'm
read.
thinking about.
This is what you think. Do you have it? Okay.
Just read my page, bro.
See that? It happens. Bible solve.
27 and starting at verse 20.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Nah, that's a little bit after that.
27, Salakia, in verse 1.
Starting at 25.
Uh-huh.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 27, verse 1. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying to them, When a man shall make a singular vow, the persons shall be for Yahweh by thy estimation.
Mm-hmm.
Thy estimation shall be of the male from 20 years old even unto 60 years old.
Mm-hmm. The male 20 to 60, that's adulthood. 20 years old to 60 years old. Go ahead.
Even thy estimation shall be 50 shekels of silver after the shekel of the sanctuary.
Uh-huh.
And if it be a female, then thy estimation shall be 30 shekels.
Uh-huh.
But it's
Female in the
age.
same thing, 20 to 60. That's the age group. Go ahead.
It says, and if it be from 5 years old, even unto 20 years old, then thy estimation shall be of the male 20 shekels,
Mm-hmm.
and for the female 10 shekels.
Mm-hmm. Right. You said read that again, Salakia.
Verse 5. And if it be from 5 years old, even unto 20 years old.
Right. 5 to 20. That's childhood. 5 to 20. Before 5, it's a damn baby. See that work? You're a baby till you're 5. You're a child 5 to 20. You're an adult 20 to 60. You're an elder 60 and up. A senior citizen, if you will. That's the designations. Go ahead.
It says, and if it be from a month old, even unto 5 years old, thy estimation shall be of a male 5 shekels of silver, and for the female, thy estimation shall be 3 shekels of silver.
Mm-hmm.
You want that in Exodus 30? That's the point.
What in Exodus 30?
Just everyone that passed among them that are numbered from 20 years old and above.
No, that's good. That's the point. That's the point. Okay, the ancestor of the Gregorian calendar was the first Roman calendar, which had difference. It considered of 10 months rather than 12. Yeah, that's the Romans. We never had 10 months. We always had 12 months, and on a leap year, we had 13 months. So in the course of about 7 years, we would have a 13th month 3 to 4 times. That's called a leap year, right? A 13 month. So we had to add an extra month. So we would go from 360 days to 390 days. Simple. We've never had, can you show me 10 months in the Bible? This is crazy.
Othniel Bun Yashala said, Priest, what does by their polls mean?
A poll. What is a poll?
Survey.
P-O-L-L, a survey. We were surveying the people, counting the people, right? That's all that means. What was I thinking about going to? Watch this. So, brother, let's go here. He said we always had 10 months, right? So let's just go here first, Salakia. Let's read it. And his house was finished on the 3rd day of the month Adar, which was in the 6th year of the reign of Darius the king. Okay, so it was the month of Adar. So let's go to what Adar is, just to debunk this, brother. Adar. 12th month corresponding to March or April. 12th month. 12th month. 12th month. Not 10 months, brother. 12th month. See how that works? All right. So please don't propagate that. All right. I am showing. I just showed you, brother. You know. Okay, so what's the month before March? The 11th month. What's the month before that? The 10th month. What are we talking about, brother? What's modern? Okay, and that's 12th month. So what are you saying? I don't know if you know your own point. Are you stuck in a marriage if the person lies about being married worldly, continues to lie daily, and is controlling? Yes. If you knew better, you do better. Truth, sister. Truth. Right? You picked them. You you effed them. You're stuck with them, sis. Right? Okay. I know it said April to March, but it said 12th month, not 10th month,
Right.
brother. You said it's only 10 months. That said 12. So can you please explain to me the relevance of your point? Because I'm lost at this point. If modern March, April is the 12th month, then there is an 11th and 10th. There's still an 11th month. You said there's only 10 months. But if there's a 12th month, there has to be an 11th month. That's 2 more months than you are asserting it said. So what are you talking about? Is it shamefaced or modesty we are practicing? I mean, I don't know what you're practicing, sister. I'm not sure if I quite understand your question.
Yeah, what practice are these words being attached to?
I don't understand.
Being covered.
Being covered, it's a cultural tradition. You can be covered and still. I've seen women in head covers with revealing clothing.
Yeah.
I don't like to use the term modesty because it's grossly misinterpreted and misused. What is the new year, Ak? April or January? The new year is the springtime. Right? The springtime.
Modesty just means put together.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
You know, so being covered is our cultural tradition. April, I didn't say April. I didn't say April, but the new year is in springtime. What, like, if you don't come to a point, I'm going to time you out. Just so you understand. I have to time you out if you don't come to a point. Because you're just, at this point, it's just confusion that you're propagating in my chat. Right? What shamefaced, let's just go into what shamefaced is. How is putting a cover on your head shaming your face? So all of this is modern Hebrew Israelite misunderstanding, right? Shamefaced. Right. So this is Greek, interestingly enough. Right. A sense of shame or honor, modesty, bashfulness, right? Reverence, regard for others, respect, right? So literally just being humble and respectful is all that means. It doesn't mean you put a covering on your head. That's not what that means. That's like our tradition. It's not more so like this equals that. Right. And this is especially when it says bashfulness towards men, being like bashful towards men as opposed to like aggressive. Girls who are shy, if a girl say, "Oh, I'm shy," when you first get with her, she's shy. That's shamefacedness. It has nothing to do with wearing something on your head. Sis, you know, meek, beautiful synonym there, sis, not design. Meek, reserved. You know. He said, "Don't, I'm done." All right, it'll get on. I think that the typing is it's getting in the way of our communication ability. No harm, no foul. You know, no harm, no foul. You know, but questions, y'all got questions? Ezekiel 32:1 also speaks of a 12th month. Go ahead.
It is the book of the prophet Ezekiel, chapter 32, verse 1. And it came to pass in the 12th year, in the 12th month, in the first day of the month, that the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying.
See, at the 12th month. So brother asks if he qualifies because he subscribes to the channel for the Passover. No, brother. So to make it very clear, if you want to virtually watch Sicarii Passover, you go to czyn.network, you sign up, use promo code Deacon. You're gonna cut this down to about $10, and you go here, right? Let me see. Boom. You go here and this will tell you how to purchase live stream tickets or how to purchase in-person tickets. You watch one of these and you get the walkthrough. It's going to be an update on this as well, but that's the only way to see the live or get the in-person tickets, CZYN. You also can get in-person tickets again through Sicarii Varsity if you're an active prospect in Sicarii, etc. But through CZYN, that's the only real public way. Sign up here again. Using promo code Deacon Sicarii will save you on your subscription. Only way, right? And again, if you want to see the virtual, you got to understand when you don't be doing what you play on Netflix, subscribing and then canceling. If you're not a subscriber come March 22nd, you're not going to be able to watch it. So you got to keep your subscription alive. Right. Go ahead.
B. Killy the GOAT official. I mean, I'm guessing that's Billy the GOAT.
Oh, it's Sister Salakia, Sister Ima. Salakia, I should have just looked at the name. Ima Shara. Salakia. Go ahead.
Nah, could say B. Killy, but it's Billy the GOAT. He just got the K behind B. My brother asked it to...
Come on, man. We blood killers still, man. Come on now. Go ahead. He got the BK on his name still. Come on. Just go ahead and slide the K up off the B.
God.
Go ahead.
It said, my brother asked, is tobacco okay to chew instead of smoking?
No.
Wow.
You should ask your body if tobacco is okay to chew. Right?
Right.
Let's pull some more stuff.
Right.
We're having fun today, right?
Pete Mercado, yes, this was the second reaction to that video. We did half Taco Tuesday. This is the second half.
Yeah, we didn't get the other part. What am I thinking about? HIB.
Think about tobacco.
Harms of chewing tobacco. So let's ask ourselves this question. Now I want to see the real gum cancer chewing tobacco.
Yep.
So let's just ask if this. Okay. Does that? I don't even want to click on these. They're censored.
Yeah, a bunch of them censored.
Let's just ask ourselves. See that? So I mean, just ask yourself. You know, ask yourself, brother. Oral cancer is crazy.
Going through it.
Billy the GOAT. He gonna change. He gonna put that K up off there. We got love for the blood. You know, you done offended my brother to back in the room with that K behind the B, man. Let's just go ahead. I'll make sure he sees it. All praise. All praise.
Brittany Austin said, is the two witnesses story meant to be taken literal, specifically Revelation chapter 11, verses 7 through 14? Sorry if the question seems simple.
Yeah, there are always two chief prophets that the Most High has on the scene in which the anointing flows from for the rest of the prophets. So yes, but it is symbolic of all of the prophets though as well. And we can see the two witnesses in different aspects. We see it during the time of Elijah and Elisha. We also see it during the time of Zerubbabel and Joshua. And we can even see it during the time of Yahushua and John the Baptist. It's always two chief prophets, and they anoint the other prophets spiritually.
Come Truth asks, okay, if I am stuck, that's fine. How can I help my husband get over his ex-wife who cheated on him? He almost left the truth to stay with her.
Sister, you have to be everything that he wants and needs in life.
Yeah,
that's what you need to focus on, being everything that man wants and needs. And y'all possibly may need some counseling. And I do want to say that Gorilla.guru, GRLA.GURU, personal, marriage, business, etc. counseling, I am available. If you go on Gorilla.guru, you can book your session today. I'll reach out and we'll coordinate a time. You know, if you need counseling, a lot of relationships at least need, you know, a couple initial counsels as a foundation to be built for y'all to build further from there, right?
Bay Lady 211, all these BK. Are women supposed to wear fringes too?
Hold on, where that's at? Hold on.
Bay Lady 211.
It's all Crips in this chat, Lord in Christ. Right?
But yeah, she said, are women supposed to wear fringes too, or is that just for men?
That's both.
Kind of both. Yosh said, a Christian tried to tell me Ezekiel 44:20 means you can't have long dreadlocks. Can you edify?
Of course. So let's go there.
The book of the prophet Ezekiel, chapter 44, verse 20. Neither shall they shave their heads, nor suffer their locks to grow long. They shall only poll their heads.
This is what happens when you do something called eisegesis. Neither they. Yeah. Who is they? Let's just go up.
Verse 15. But the priests, the Levites, the sons of Zadok.
Right. So specifically the Zadokites, right, which are the high priest lineage preserved out of Aaron. Right. Now Zadok, real quick, I'm gonna ask Isaiah. I know you know. In the room, with the exclusion, I'm gonna exclude officers from this question. No officers answer. In the room or in the chat. Who was, or Zadok was whose high priest? No, who was his, like when Zadok was on the scene? Who was Zadok? Zadok was whose high priest? Anybody know? Let me see if the chat knows. Well, I'm here to help. You know, if it's Yosh, you got it. Solomon. That was Solomon's high priest. This is the significance of Zadok being a high priest, or Zadok's lineage being the high priest and lineage in the kingdom. No, Ezra Nehemiah's high priest is Joshua. So Zadok's significance is that Solomon's high. Remember, Solomon is going to rule, which is Yahushua, and then his high priest is going to be his high priest, and then that's going to come from him, which is Zadok, right? So that's the they. So the high priest lineage, right, had to have hair, but not too long, not too short. Right. Yes, sir. I believe so. I believe that's Aaron reincarnated. You know, but a lot when you go into that, even when you look at Samuel, you'll see the issues with, because there was even a chosen lineage out of Aaron that comes through Eleazar. Aaron had, remember, 4 sons. The first 2 died. Then you had Eleazar and Ithamar. So the high priest lineage was really supposed to come through Eleazar, right? But then Ithamar and them's kids got in the high priesthood during the time of Eli, right? That's when Samuel came and prophesied against Eli. All that happened during that time. Yeah. So there was even a discrepancy within the Aaronite lineage. So that'll be corrected through the Zadokite establishment and reestablishment in the kingdom. Bay Lady 211. 211 is my B-Day. I ain't I don't know. Bay Lady 211. You shooting you away from 211 criminal? I don't know. You could be. I'm not sure. Right? But I know about that 211. 211 still reserved.
Mike from the 4th tribe said, can you get your teeth done if you want dental implants?
Go ahead, get you some veneers, man. All right. I know a man in Christ, man, got a fresh new grill. The Bach of War. I know a man in Christ with a beautiful new grill, man. He's showing it off, man. Pearly whites. Praise the Lord.
Him and a few of his constituents.
I'll be next. You know what I'm saying? I get a couple extra coins, man. Don't be surprised you see me with a fresh new. You know, Lord in Christ. Go ahead.
Gideon came back and retracted. He said this what he get for binge watching too many people. He came back to his notes, realized he was in the wrong.
Shout out to El Gideon. Good brother. Do the Horites descend from Noah? Certainly. So just to y'all understand.
And he cut himself with a cold.
I'm going to tell y'all about the Horites. The Horites are not a specific ethnicity, right? That's contrary to popular belief that the Horites are an ethnicity. So let's go to this word Horite. It's Karya, right? Cave dweller, right? Now watch this. It goes back to the word Kawar. and it literally just means cave. So this isn't an ethnicity. These are just, the Horites are just the people that live in caves, whoever they are. So they can be any ethnicity. If somebody's a cave dweller, you call them a Horite. Right. The Edomites then went and lived with people who already were living in caves, right? So that's all. And then they became the actual people group that lived in caves. These were just random vagabond ass people that ran up into the caves. Could have been Ishmaelites, Hamite, whoever. Right. They were just, oh, them is the cave niggas. Then Esau, they became the cave people, the true cave people, right? That's how that worked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is the precept he brought out. 1 Kings 4:7. Solomon had 12 officers over all Israel, which provided victuals for the king and his household, each man his own month in a year.
Ooh, he came with the cold cut. That's a cold cut, King. You know?
Life Yashala said, if you have it, y'all want to say something? Life Yashala said, if you have a destructive mad woman as a wife, Lord in Christ, is it okay to put her out? I'm already made my decision, but I probably need to repent.
Put her out? I mean, what? She can't stay with you? You know, it's okay to not cohabitate with your wife. It's okay to not have the same living space and living quarters. It is not okay to divorce your wife unjustly, though. It is not okay to deprive your wife of her basic necessities, her provisions, as well as the duty of marriage, which is, of course, sexual intercourse.
Truth came back and said, we have gotten counseling from the truth, people in the truth, and worldly counselors. We can also try your approach. That's fine.
Yeah, if that's just if y'all like to, you know. I do offer counsel, so I just was throwing that out there. It's up to y'all, you know. But you know, Lord be with y'all regardless.
Zoverture said, what are your thoughts on Josephus and his writings? Do y'all subscribe to him?
Well, subscribe to him. I subscribe to him just as much as I subscribe to any historian. It's not like he's not subject to error. His works are cool. They're cool. They're certainly not without error, or they're certainly not unproblematic. They're problematic in certain instances, but you know, he's cool. He's a historian. He's a secular source. He's one of ours, so there's some authority there. But just overall, you know, he's a secular source who is definitely subject to error.
Yosh, going back to Ezekiel 44:20, said, but what's too long though? Pause. As far as the length of the hair, like what's too long over length of the hair?
Well, the high priest would be the judge of that, sir. Y'all got to understand that when the Lord set up officers, judges, priests, and we would officiate in the Torah, we're the judges. We're the judge of that, right? So we would take a look at the law, and then we would make a conclusion based on it. So sometimes there's not like just a one answer. Oh, if your shit is 14 inches, that's too long. No. Brother, the priests look at it. Okay, you need to go ahead and shave that down, brother. And that, you know what I'm saying?
Knots Tazan, the sister Knots Tazan asked, let's say if she wants to live separate, does the husband also have to pay for the housing?
Well, the husband would have to approve her living separately, right? Her wanting to live separate and the husband being willing to allow her to live separate are two entirely different things. It is his decision to make because he is the leader of the house. He makes the decisions as to the habitation arrangements. If he says, hey, if you want to go live on your own, you're gonna have to pay your own rent. Well, then, because this is the thing, is he supposed to provide for you? Yes. If he's providing for you in the house, you can't go, okay, I want to move out the house, but you still got to pay the rent, unless he's willing to do that. If he's saying, nah, you can stay right here where the bills are paid, and you decide that you want to go live on your own, or if he says, hey, well, you can go live on your own, you just gonna have to pay for that, well, then that's the decision that you made.
Bay Lady said, appreciate the answer to my question. I promise I'm not a gangster.
Okay, Bay Lady is not a gangster. Shout out to Bay Lady.
United Mind says, is it a carnal spirit to carry a gun every day if you have a gun license, or should you just have faith?
I say there's something wrong with you if you legally can carry a gun and you don't carry a gun every day. I think something's probably wrong with you. You know, I'm upset I can't do it, man. They got me with these felonies, man. I would love to walk around here with a pistol every damn day. And that's not an issue of faith. Our forefathers walked around with a sword everywhere they went. It weren't guns back then, but there certainly were swords, and you kept it on you. That's your culture. You know, the Arabs now, they walk around with an AK-47 at all times. That's just the regular thing where we come from, right? Why do you think our people are so prone to guns now? It's regular for real. You know, it's truly a part of our culture. So ain't nothing wrong with that. You having a gun does not mean you lack faith. That's like saying wearing a jacket is a lack of faith. It's cold as hell outside. Put a goddamn jacket on. Which I got faith I ain't gonna get sick. Why did God make jackets then? You feel me? You got to be practical, right? You know.
Graham said, "Where do people from Armenia descend from?"
Well, Armenia is where the Caucasus Mountains are, right? So Caucasian people are Edomites. So what would the Armenians be? Edomites. Just because they have quote unquote dark features don't make them a less of an Edomite than an Irish person or an English person. They are Edomites, right? For the most part, they might have some other stuff mingled in because some of them, you know, got are actually like, you know, they had some Indo, like some type of Elamites, I think, come and mingle with some of them, but you know, they're white people, bro.
My brother's keeper asked, so like, let me go back up. Ariala asked, does that mean as a Zakite won't be able to be a Nazarite?
Yeah, it does mean that.
Okay. And now my brother's keeper asked, is the husband liable for the sins of his wife or kids if they are not in the truth?
I wouldn't say so. No, I wouldn't say so. But it would kind of depend. If you're showing them the right way and they refuse, then I wouldn't think you were liable for that.
Flip the Scripto said, what's that precept with carrying the weapon out?
Oh, Yahushai. There's Yahushai, and then there's Nehemiah 5 as well. Who? The Armenians do not come from Aram. No. No, they don't. They come, these are white people. Unless you're talking about like there's a portion of them that are from Aram, but nah, I wouldn't say so.
This is the book of St. Luke. You know that?
Yeah.
St. Luke chapter 22, verse 36. Then said he unto them, but now he that have a purse, let him take it, and likewise his scrip. And he that have no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one.
Right. See that? So Yahushua said, if you ain't got no goddamn sword, go get you one. Right. Very simple. Let me know.
You want the one in Nehemiah?
Yeah, you mean in Nehemiah 2 about 5?
Sword.
Yeah, everybody kept their hand on their weapon. There's absolutely no evidence of Jews living in Egypt ever. Okay, watch this.
This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 4, verse 17. They which build it on the wall, and they that bear burdens with those that laid it, every one with one of his hands wrought in the work, and with the other hand held a weapon.
See that? So we was holding the weapons, right? So he said there's no evidence. There's absolutely no evidence of Jews living in Egypt ever. Okay. Let's just take a look at this real quick. It's called the Elephantine Papyri. Consists of thousands of documents from the Egyptian border fortress of Elephantine and Aswan, which yielded hundreds of papyri and ostraca in hieratic and Demotic Egyptian, Aramaic, Koine Greek, Latin, and Coptic, spanning a period of 100 years from the 5th to 4th centuries BCE. Interesting, right? So let's go to individuals from Elephantine. What's the point I'm looking for? I gotta find a whole lot of Elephantine. Lord in Christ. A number of Aramaic papyri. Yep. A number of Aramaic papyri document the Jewish community among soldiers stationed in Elephantine under Achaemenid rule from 495 to 399 BCE. The so-called Passover letter of 419 BCE, which appears to give instructions for the observance of the festival of unleavened bread, though Passover itself is not mentioned in the extant text in the Egyptian Museum of Berlin. So here is the primary archaeological evidence of Jews living in Egypt almost 2,500 years ago. Clive, you have been categorically debunked, right? You can get out of my chat. Thank you. Let's get back to it.
Yes and Yah asks, is it wrong to have a violet ribbon if in Hebrew techelet is violet? Color spectrum between violet to blue.
Well, it's I wouldn't say it's wrong, no. I wouldn't say it's wrong. Do I have something? Did somebody give me something with
the Muslims?
I think I had a violet. No, I didn't, but I've seen people with purple ribbon. I don't have a problem. If you got, I got the light blue, navy blue, royal blue. As long as you off up in that spectrum. Let me say, do I got Ravens in Texas? I got nobody. I clocked out. I chose the Dolphins for this postseason. They left. I don't even care what happens. All I know is if it be the will of the Lord, I'll be out there in Vegas preaching the word of God. That's what I do know, right? If it be the will of the Most High, of course.
Dwayne Thompson asks, what tribe is Brazil?
What tribe is Brazil? So predominantly the indigenous Brazilians, and even a great portion of the Afro-Brazilians would be from the tribe of Asher. But you also have Levites there as well amongst the Negro population. Here's I have to watch this. I'm gonna show y'all something. I want to show y'all something, right? I just looked this up. Man, it was something. You know what? I screenshot it on purpose. I screenshot it. Let me see. Let me see screenshots. I got it. I gotta have it. Where's that? Yep. Okay. So, and this is via Gilda. So, you know, a lot of people go, oh, well, the majority of slaves didn't go to America. How many times y'all heard that? The majority of slaves went to Caribbean and Brazil, right? People, it's important to know what to do with information. And people who use that talking point have no idea what to do with information. So, in the Caribbean, Dutch Guyana, and Brazil, majority of slaves, the highest concentration of slaves went to Brazil. Now watch this. In the Caribbean, Dutch Guyana, and Brazil, the enslaved death rate was so high and birth rate so low that they could not sustain their population without importations from Africa. So the reason why most slaves went to Brazil is because they died fast and didn't reproduce. So they had to import an exacerbated amount. You know where the slave mortality was low? In the U.S., right? So in actuality, it's more. So you know how they inflate Brazil? They say like they stretch the number of black people in Brazil by saying like anybody with any trace amount of being black, that's what they count. So they're counting a larger number, and it still isn't as many black people as in the United States. It's about 40 million. It's like 44 million in the U.S., right? So what you have to understand, the tribe of Judah, the biggest tribe who came to the United States, that's the biggest tribe, okay? Even though, yes, more slaves were imported into Brazil, they also died and weren't born as much in Brazil versus the United States. So that's how you balance out that number when people come, oh, well, Brazil had the most slaves. Yeah, and they died. And they weren't having babies. So there was a greater need, right? There was plenty of slaves imported here to the United States, but there wasn't as great as a need for the importation because there was plenty. They had breeding farms in the United States. They didn't practice breeding farms all over the place in slavery. The white man in America had slavery down to a certain point, right? Somebody said it's Belize, Zebulon too. Indigenous Belizeans are not black Belizeans. The Afro Belizeans are Benjamites the same way the Afro Hondurans are Benjamites and Levites, right? But go ahead. And I think you got some Levi up at Belize too, if I'm not mistaken. Right? It's important that when you research certain families, you try to get into the background of them. Take a look at that surname. What is that surname? Is it an English one? Is it Spanish? Is it French? Is it Dutch? That's going to indicate plenty to you as well.
United Mind said, when you come in the truth as a man regarding the women, you've been with let's say you've been with 2 or 3 women. How do you determine which one to stay with? You try to start poly, but not all of them are with them.
I mean, you don't determine who to stay with what. You stay with all of your women. If they leave, that's on them. It's simple.
I think he's saying which one to allow to dwell with you.
Which one to allow to dwell with you? I mean, brother, I can't. That's gonna vary. There's no cookie cutter or monopoly answer on that. That's gonna vary on case by case. That's gonna vary on people's preferences.
Knots Tazan asks, true, Dan is missing and the tribes are mixed in. I understand that part. That's why I just want to know. It also said stay within your own tribe. Is that impossible seeing we are captives?
It doesn't say. Where does it say stay within your own tribe? What context are you saying? Stay within your own tribe. Are you talking about in marriage or are you talking about in living?
Don Williams said, Chief, what's your thoughts on the tribe of Ephraim missing in Revelation the 7th chapter? Are they counted as the tribe of Joseph? Yes.
Say that again.
Chief, what's your thoughts on the tribe of Ephraim missing in Revelation 7? Are they counted as the tribe of Joseph?
Yes, they're the head of Joseph. That's pretty obvious. It says Joseph and Manasseh, so that tells you. But it can say Joseph and mean them both. But if it says Joseph and Manasseh, well, then obviously because Ephraim is in the seat of Joseph.
The sister said, and she's speaking in regards to marriage.
Staying with your own tribe? Yeah. No, the Bible doesn't say that an Israelite has to stay within their own tribe with marriage. The Bible says an Israelite woman, if she has no brothers, has to marry within her own tribe. Other than that, there is no obligation to marrying within exclusively your own tribe. There was an instance in Judges where many Israelite men vowed not to give their daughters to the tribe of Benjamin, but that was a one-time occurrence. And then, of course, a woman not being allowed to marry outside of her tribe is a special circumstance occurrence.
I guess I'm just waiting on El get on to ask the question. That's what it is.
Yeah, cause she got it. He's gonna come with it.
He said, Gorilla, can I ask you a serious question on language? I want to know if it's cool before. This is no troll question. All my questions are for reproof and understanding.
Yeah, I'm starting to understand. You're fine, brother. Just shoot your question. Shout out to Ephraim in the building.
All right, man.
It's so damn cold, man. You know, I mean, it ain't cold in here, obviously, but outside, you know, I had to bring that Bruce Shiesty out. How is so-called Old Testament Hebrew, but not so-called New Testament, but our people spoke Hebrew in slavery? Well, number one, there are the languages that we spoke in West Africa are Semitic or Hebraic. We didn't exactly speak Hebrew in slavery, though. We have to dispose that myth. That's largely exaggerated. We definitely had Hebrewisms, and again, we still had a language that was related to, right? Because it was Bantu, which Bantu is a Semitic language. What would be called Semitic? Really, Afro-Asiatic is more appropriate. But why is it in Greek? Well, simply because those of us in Greece are who decided to preserve that. Number one, the first complete Old Testament, well, arguably, is entirely in Greek as well. That's how many of us were speaking Greek. It's like saying, why would the Hebrew Israelites in America write a book in English when they're Hebrew Israelites and they can speak Hebrew? The same thing, because that was a primary language. Not only we were speaking, but the earth was at that time, right? But the sources of all of the New Testament are not necessarily Greek, though. Like Matthew didn't write in Greek initially. John did not write in Greek initially, but a Mark or a Luke definitely did. Acts definitely was. Paul's epistles to people who were in Greek-speaking regions certainly was, but the book of Hebrews couldn't have been, right? Revelations wasn't. First and Second Peter, no. James, no. But even James possibly, because remember, it was to the 12 tribes scattered abroad, so there's possible there. But we know for sure Luke, Mark, Paul, they wrote in Greek. And then, of course, Matthew and John would have wrote in Hebrew. Of course, John would be in the Gospel of John, 1st, 2nd, 3rd John, and the Revelation, John's Revelation. 1st and 2nd Peter, all those would be in Hebrew as well initially. Life, Yasharali, Yahweh, Shem, Yahshua, Barakatah, Wata, Wata. What else we got?
Do you guys have any classes on dating for teens or leaving the home, daughters and sons?
Teens shouldn't be dating. Wouldn't say, well, I won't necessarily say teens just shouldn't be dating, but no, I don't have a lesson on teen dating. That's crazy.
Edomites must perish. Right. Obadiah 118 asks, Chief, is there some reason we still say the tribe of Judah when we hold to no J?
Because we're speaking English.
Right.
We hold to no J. It's nothing to hold to. It's a fact that J is an invention that came out in the 1500s. That's a fact. Right. But we're speaking English. There's a very clearly a J in the English in which that we speak. So we don't speak like they're talking to KJV.
You see this about okay, so Notch Tazan, the sister said, my father considered himself native. I am wondering if I am Dan or Judah.
Why are we jumping to Dan? What happened to the Gadites?
Right.
I don't know about the Danites. You got to do some, research on your lineage.
Superior Jew said, where can I get the Hebrew lexicon for the apocryphal books, like an online BLB, but for those books?
You have to search high and low, brother. Those are not easy to come for, and they're not available online. You have to get the physical copy. And again, those are very hard to come by. And you have to understand that not all of the Apocrypha was written in Hebrew. It's Hebrew, Greek, and Latin in the Apocrypha. Much of Ezra's is Latin.
Issachar King said, Chief, I'm sure. Did you read it? Issachar King?
No.
Chief, I get my circumcision done in a few days. I'm filled with anxiety. I know it needs to be done, though. I continue to ask Yahweh for strength. I'll pray.
Yeah, don't be afraid of it. Okay? Our father Abraham at 99 years old was circumcised. Okay. Be strong like our father Abraham. Right? Yoshi, how about Shemiah Shabbat Water? It's our pleasure. Go ahead.
Bezalel Judah said, Big Chief, one quick question. Are Yemenite people Israelites? Can you break into that?
I saw you posted earlier. No, Yemenese people are not Israelites. These are the Israelites in Yemen. They're called the Al-Qadam. Oh, it seems like they changed their name. They're called the Al-Qadam or Qadim. Now it seems like they changed their name to the Al-Muhammishin. Right? You see them people? I grew up with a bunch of people that look at how many women, sisters did you grow up with look just like this one and this one? Right. God, I said, bro, there's two girls two girls I grew up with look exactly like these two. These are the Israelites that are there in Yemen, the Al-Aqdam. They're subjugated, treated like I did videos on them many years ago. These are the untouchable class in Yemen. These are the Israelites over there in Yemen.
Mhm.
You see them? Okay.
Yeah,
These are the Israelites of Yemen, not Yemenis people in general, right? These marginalized people in Yemen, right? So I was glad I saw you ask that earlier. I had that on deck. Sister Zion, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Barakatah Water Water for the Pesach donation says, right? We'll go up, a few more minutes and we'll close out. Just want to definitely give y'all, good edifying class.
Edomites Must Perish says, so saying Jesus Christ or Jehovah is okay then, since we speak English.
He said what?
In regards to why we hold on to the letter J.
He said what?
So saying Jesus Christ or Jehovah is okay then, since we speak English.
Why would it not be okay? That's my question. Who said it wasn't okay to say Jehovah or Jesus Christ? You can say it all you want, but the problem is, if you want to talk to the entity, you should call him by his actual name, which isn't in a J. When you're communicating with people that speak a language, it's okay to communicate with them on the terms and basis in which they're familiar with, right? But we know Yahweh and Yahweh Shai speak Hebrew. So when we're communicating to Yahweh, and we have to do so in the name of his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, we're using the actual language in which their names are given in, because they're proper nouns, and proper nouns don't change in languages, right? But there's no problem with saying Jehovah or Jesus Christ. That's crazy. Where did you even get that idea?
Malachi Ben Yashala said, Gorilla, can you tell me why was our sister Esther allowed to marry the heathen, the Persian king?
Why wouldn't she be? Is that a bomb? Why wouldn't she be? Right? Her uncle coached her through the whole situation, who was a righteous man. Right? Now, she wasn't feeling dude, but she had to, make something happen for the nation.
Right.
And we celebrate that every year. Right? It's a car king, y'all by Shemiah Shabakatah Worth of Water.
Green Bud said, is any of the new or old pseudo-ligrapher testaments valid?
No, keyword pseudo, brother. Pseudo is fake. That's what pseudo means, King. I remember when I was in 6th grade, we had a science project. It was about making pseudo fossils. We manufactured fossils. They were fake.
It's so funny because he put pseudo-ligrapher, and I'm saying pseudo-pig, like I know it's supposed to be pseudo-pig, I'm still trying to read that. He put the correction.
Okay.
United Mind said, this might be a dumb question. When trying to follow the Passover, do we still hit the doorpost with the meat?
What? You mean put the blood on the doorpost? Right. Why not?
Nobody hit the doorpost.
You don't hit the doorpost with the meat. Take a raw slab and just lie. Don't do that. Please. But you can take some blood and put it on your doorpost. We usually keep it at a public place, so we don't do that at the public venue. But if you're at your home, certainly.
Yeah, get on and say, I want all Sicarii to pray for me. I'm thinking about joining y'all's brotherhood.
Well, man, get in the brotherhood, man. Join at Sicarii.camp. Let me make sure to plug that. If you're looking to get into Sicarii, get into a camp, do this work, join at Sicarii.camp. Right. All right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Shemel Shai, and that is a bomb. Well, you can take some blood and put on your. What's that? What happened? This nigga's crazy.
The Sicarii.
All right. God. Go ahead.
Third tribe asks, is Jeremiah the 49th chapter speaking about the Ainu people in Japan?
Why does Ammon possess Gad? Is that what he's talking about in Jeremiah 49? Yeah, but not directly. So they had already began to possess Gad and oppress Gad in the land first. So what I would say happens is when Ammon abandons the so-called Middle East and heads east, I would say that they took Gadites that were subjugated, enslaved to them, with them off into Japan. Exactly. Yeah. But that's where you go to build that connection, is that one right there. Yeah.
Yeah, to that property with them.
Exactly. Shout out to the Ainu people of Japan. People have a problem. Niggas say want to debate me on that. What Eskimo? How the Eskimo? Across the water. Yeah. The Ainu people, right? So they could have came right across the water, right? Because they say that the Eskimos are somewhat divergent from other Gadites. But what you don't understand is the Gadites was taken off into Japan too, a portion of them.
So they came a different way.
Exactly. The entirety of a tribe didn't just go to one place.
Exactly.
The majority could have went, but there's always going to be remnants. Yeah. Remember that. Always going to be remnants.
Christian Burton, why are people so argumentative today? He's trying to get class. This is the opportunity for people to be argumentative, actually.
Yeah. Now, it's okay. We can be a little argumentative right now. Yeah. We got a little time.
Bay Lady 211 said, "Would learning Hebrew on Duolingo be any good? Or it isn't the Paleo Hebrew, is it not worth it?"
No, it's worth it. It's certainly worth it because it's not. I'm going to hit y'all with something. It's not drastically different. As you can see, when I'm interacting with that Jewish man and he says, what do he say? Baruch. Yeah. We say Barak. Yeah. It's not drastically different. Berush. Yeah. Barak. Yeah. It's not. There are not drastic differences. So if you pick up any form of Hebrew, it's not going to be hard for you to pick up any other form of Hebrew. Yeah. It's the same thing pretty much. It's literally tomato for the most part.
Yeah. And you learn structure, grammatical structure, and stuff
all like that. You know what I'm saying? Because just deciphering, you don't always learn that. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Like Ariala, which Ariala is our Hebrew expert here in the Sicarii.
Nazizan basically asked the same question. Is Yiddish okay to use or strictly Paleo? As the BLB uses both.
The BLB doesn't use Paleo Hebrew, but Yiddish is fine. Again, what's what. It's okay to talk any language. Any language is okay to talk about, right?
Malachi Ben Yashala, going back to the question with Esther. He said, I had just thought that because they said, did we not supposed to marry outside of our race? That would be an issue.
Well, the reason what I'm saying is there's not a direct law against Esther marrying a Persian man. Yeah. It's traditionally shameful. Right. It is. It's traditionally shameful. Traditionally, it is arguably ideologically very shameful. But those things are not laws. And when we read in the rest of Esther, she makes it very apparent that she doesn't want to marry this heathen. That's not what she wanted. She wasn't, goo goo gaga for the Persian king at all. She looked down upon him. But technically, the technicality is there wasn't an actual law for that right there. There was a law against us marrying Canaanites. It says neither get your sons or daughters. But there's not one in place just universally for every heathen contrary to popular belief. So it was shameful. Give me Genesis 34:14.
Look at Genesis chapter 34, verse 14. Mm-hmm. It says, and they said unto them, we cannot do this thing to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised.
So Jacob didn't have a problem with doing it. We said we cannot do this thing. Right. Go ahead.
It says, for that were a reproach unto us.
So we feel like it's shameful for our sister to deal with another nation. That's how we feel. Yeah. That doesn't make it necessarily the law of God. Right. But we feel that way. We're not fans of it. We don't like it. Things of that nature. Yeah. But here's the but to that. But there's not a law against it, so we can see it happening. Solomon was had a covenant of brotherhood with the Canaanite king, with the Zidonian king Hiram. Hiram's mother was from the tribe of Asher. Asher and Naphtali? Asher, I believe. So his mother was an Israelite, but his father was a Canaanite, Zidonian particularly. So we can see instances of that where, the shame, we didn't really trip off it in that instance. Those are pretty much two instances. And then remember the Egyptian, with the Israelitish mother and the Egyptian father, we end up killing his ass. But, he was with us or whatever. He was rocking with us for a little while. Yeah. Then the first chance we got, we went and X'd him out. We see Jara, the Judite. He didn't have no sons. He ended up giving his daughter to his
Oh,
Egyptian
to the
servant.
Egyptian, yeah.
You know, so this does happen
Yeah.
seldomly, but it does occur. So there's
Yeah.
not an actual law against it, but it seldomly does occur scripturally.
Jay Woods 8000 said, I've been trying to get over with Sicarii Chicago camp. No response. Can y'all help me out?
Email join@sicarii.com. You'll be put in direct contact with via phone with a person to contact, an officer in Sicarii, Chicago. And you'll be able to communicate. The Sicarii Chicago is a nomadic camp, meaning they go to different spots all throughout Chicago. Out south, Wild Hunters, over east, out west, up north, they all over Chicago. So you're going to definitely want to get in contact with an officer in order to get up with them. Again, you email join@sicarii.camp, and we'll put you in direct contact with one of the officers there in Sicarii, Chicago.
Edomites Must Perish said, Chief, did you hear that Captain Cesariak took the debate from that full unbiased sports? I told him he better be asking for at least $500.
Well, I believe that Sonetta will certainly compensate our brother Captain Cesariak well. Shout out to him. I know, but he been back hard on the debate scene. You know what I'm saying? I'm easing off it right now. He's heating up. So, hey, perfect. All praises.
The sister to Zion, Yehuda, said, I speak Amharic and it's very close to Hebrew.
Yes. Amharic, the Ethiopian.
Me and the brother Taz been learning Amharic.
Okay.
Man.
Okay.
You know
All praises. All praises, man. You know, I think I might need to learn a little bit of Amharic next. You know.
Good. That's good. Now, like, help understand. Trying to be like Moses. Get on as Gorilla. Can you explain how the Ethiopian calendar is so different than ours? Their year, I think, is 2014, 2015, and it's a lot of Israelites in their country.
I have no idea, brother. I'm not familiar with the Ethiopian calendar at all.
Lady, Yaya asks, why was it okay to marry your cousin then?
You said then. Your then is based off of what point? I'm confused. Why was it okay to marry your cousin then? Then what is that then? Where is that coming from? Right. And why was it okay to marry your cousin? I mean, the Most High said so. Why wouldn't it be okay? Your cousin doesn't share nearly the same amount of DNA as you do as your, closer family members at all. Your cousin probably, 10, 15% tops. Isaac and Rebecca, is it okay now? What would change it? The only thing that we can see practiced in Genesis by the foreparents that is not okay now is marrying two sisters. We get to Deuteronomy, we get forbidden from marrying two sisters. So other than that, if you see cousins marrying, that carries on into the Torah as well.
I say, wow, even if it's your first cousin?
Yeah, your first cousin.
Yeah.
For sure. You were made off first cousin. Isaac and Rebecca, first cousins. Jacob, Rachel, Leah, first cousins. Yeah. This is a country built off of kissing cousins. A nation of people built off of kissing cousins, polygyny, all that. Yeah. A lot of stuff ain't normal now. I'm not finna go marry my cousin, but if you did, I couldn't say you were wrong, brother. I'm not finna do it, though. Yeah. But just because something is lawful don't mean it's for you.
Right. The priest of marriage.
That's all.
Oh, my God. I couldn't do it either.
Right? Caleb married his daughter to his nephew. He thought his nephew was the right brother for the job.
That's true.
That's what happened.
You know what stock they come from, man.
Yeah. Good stock, man. The goodly stock, Caleb and Othniel, man. They were saviors to Israel. God.
Somebody asked, why were they documenting skin tone in those biblical days?
They said what?
Why was they documenting skin tone in those biblical days?
They must have found it relevant.
Right. That's about it, though. We caught out the wheel. It's a little low for me on YouTube. I can't hear the scripture being read. Though.
You gotta turn it up, King. I don't know what to tell you. It's pretty loud. I'm watching his levels here. You know, his level's good.
JK3 asked, "Are there any end time prophecies in the New Testament outside of Revelation?"
Yeah, throughout the gospel, even Paul has some end time stuff.
Yep.
For sure.
And Peter.
Yeah, Peter for sure.
Yeah, Paul speak about the dead in Christ rising first and all that.
Back in biblical days.
Yeah.
What's that right there?
Olivia said, back in biblical days, didn't they do that and the Lord killed all those people off?
What are you talking about? Marrying their cousin? No, he didn't kill people for that. He said that's perfectly fine. Marrying your sister, marrying your daughter, marrying your mother, he had a problem with, but not marrying your cousin. Never.
YB says, the book of Enoch applicable to the Bible?
Applicable isn't the word to use there, but I think I get the gist of your question. The answer is no. That book is good. If you want to start a fire around a campfire, definitely that book. That'd be good. Deshaun brings up a good point. Tobit also married his cousin. Interesting. We'll take about one more question as we round off the 3-hour mark.
King Dog said, "Okay, Chief, I have another question. I don't have the law in front of me right now, but it does say in the law that you are supposed to stay at home on the Sabbath day.
Yes.
So if that's true, why do brothers go out and teach on the Sabbath day?"
Well, very simple, right?
Ooh, somebody has a good question too.
See this? I'm going to hear Mark 3. And he entered again into the synagogue, Yahushua, and there was a man there which had a withered hand. And they watched him, whether he would heal him on the Sabbath day, that they might accuse him. And he saith unto the man which had a withered hand, stand forth. And he said unto them, is it lawful to do good on Sabbath days, or to do evil, to save life or to kill? But they held their peace. Right? So to do good on the Sabbath is lawful also. Yes, also, this is the one. This is really the one. Right here, Matthew 12:5. Or have ye not read in the law how on the Sabbath days the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless? Right? So the priest profane the Sabbath and are blameless, meaning all the things that you are not allowed to do in your home on the Sabbath, a priest is allowed to do in the temple of God. Right. We're starting fires, we're cooking, we're working, we're doing all those various things. So Yahushua is applying this to his ministry and what he was doing in preaching the word of the Most High in public. They did things that you weren't supposed to do on the Sabbath, but were blameless for it because it was for the ministry and work of the Lord. So during the work of the Lord is perfectly fine on the Sabbath. Doing your own work, doing your own pleasure, that's what you're not allowed to do on the Sabbath. Right? One more.
Ren L. Rated said, what was the serpent in Genesis? A nation of people or an individual?
A nation of people, and the nation of people were the prototypical Canaanites. So they weren't called Canaanites, but the equivalent to the Canaanites before the flood, just like the Adamites are the equivalent of the Israelites before the flood, the equivalent to the Canaanites before the flood is who the serpent was. With that, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. I do want to remind everybody, urbangrowth.com for all of your Hebrew Israelite streetwear needs. And also, get over to czyn.network. Sign up now to get your Sicarii Passover invitations March the 22nd, or get your opportunity to purchase the live stream if you can't make it here to Atlanta. Right? If you're looking to join the camp, join at Sicarii.camp. All praise Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Shalom.